Hello, and welcome to Roll For It, The Last Ditch Season 2, Episode 25, which is the finale. It's the, well, I was going to say it's the end of the war. It's not, or maybe it is, if we do really badly.
It's only war.
It's the end of a chapter or whatever. Yeah, no, there's only war forever.
The last ditch.
Well, I was going to use my bush disguise to avoid the orcs, but the Tyranids will just eat the bush, so I can't.
Oh yeah,
no,
it's still biomass. Yeah.
Out of context, that is.
You gotta.
Quarantine's been way too long for me to take that any other way.
Yeah, I think Mandy and I both went somewhere with that.
I'm just gonna not go anywhere. It's like, no, it's biomass. It makes sense.
Like, funny that the ladies on the group here are the ones who are like, that's.
Well, we're the ones with the bushes, so it makes sense.
I mean,
I don't know what it says about me. It didn't even cross my mind. Sorry,
I'm too busy being scared of the Tyranids are about to get eaten. It's a bad time.
Yeah, anything more I say about this subject is going to be very personal and not appropriate for stream. But anyway, hi everybody.
You know what to do, chat. Deploy the roll shovels. Anyway, we should go through the announcements for today. We should go through the announcements. There's stuff going on. Of course, it is the finale. There won't be anything on Sundays next week or going forward for a while. We may at some point come back with Sunday shows, but for now we're dropping down to 2 shows, as we were talking about a couple of weeks back. So we're still doing stuff on Thursdays and Saturdays. There may be stuff on Sundays in future, but it would be in place of something on a Saturday or Thursday.
We're going down to 2 shows from 3. As we noted in our Patreon update, we gave you guys an update on everything in regards to we're increasing pay for all of our cast members. Everyone's getting paid more, yay! Which already went into effect at the beginning of August, right? Like August 1st. So we've already been starting that, and that means we go down to 2 shows, and we don't have enough to pay people for a 3rd show. So if we do get enough Patreon support to afford a 3rd show, we'll definitely do our best to give you guys more content. For sure.
Right. So there's also, speaking of the other shows, on Thursday, this coming Thursday, we have a new guest joining us on Dungeons & Dragons Ascension, and that guest is Sally LePage, who's playing Peachy the Owl Folk, or whatever. What's the race called? Is it Owl Folk?
Owl Folk. They're so cute.
It is the most adorable character we've possibly ever had.
She is seriously playing the most, like, her actual character, like, personality is the most adorable thing ever. Like, I think my character is just going to be squeeing the whole time.
I hope the character ends up being chaotic evil and just eats.
No, I think she's actually a pretty sweet character. Like, I think she's a good being.
On the outside.
Well, knowing EE, maybe.
They're actually a mimic. They're just a mimic.
Everything's a mimic. It's funny, once you use a mimic on your players, they never forget. It's like
it
every
has
rug.
been a while since EE has mimicked us. We're probably overdue. We should keep an eye out.
Listen, I'm just terrified of gelatinous cubes.
Oh, we've been gelatinous cubed as well. We may have been mimicked and gelatinous cubed in like the same run as well. Around the same time.
At the same time as a mimic, I think so. Yeah.
It may even have been we went from the mimic room to the gelatinous cube room. It was a bad time.
Yeah.
I swam into a gelatinous cube.
That actually sounds awful.
It was underwater.
That sounds like a literal nightmare.
Underwater gelatinous cubes are evil.
Well, Scott didn't want to just kill me outright, so I did survive.
Jelly cubes? Aww. That actually sounds cute.
So yeah.
I hate jelly. Does anyone like Jello? Like,
hate it. Absolutely hate it. Haven't eaten it in years.
I don't mind Jello, but I don't like yogurt.
I love yogurt. I don't like Jello. It's like
I would rather the texture of yogurt or of Jello over yogurt.
Do you like pudding?
I don't mind pudding.
But pudding and yogurt have like the same texture.
No, because one of them is more. No, because one of them is more. One of them is more like it like coats your tongue in like stuff and like
pudding does that.
No, pudding's like not nearly as bad. Because like
neither
yogurt
of them
is more
should
like
dairy
your
based.
What yogurt are you eating?
Are you
I've
eating?
had like Greek yogurt and other stuff, and I'm
That's
just like
Greek
not
yogurt.
about it.
Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt
and regular yogurt and regular yogurt. No,
listen, I don't know what kind of yogurt you're eating,
weird
but I think you're eating the wrong kind of yogurt.
Pre-show. Sorry, I got a little carried away. I wanted to know.
It's like,
There's good
I
yogurt.
love yogurt. Yogurt's great, but jelly is the worst. Absolute worst. Won't eat it.
Fuck
Yes,
yogurt.
spoiled
All my
tendons
homies
and
hate
bones
yogurt.
and all that stuff.
Jelly in the U.S. is also jam.
Oh yeah,
so
we
I
mean
think for
jelly
me,
as in
yeah,
Jello. because
Jell-O,
We call it
yeah.
jelly here. We don't have Jell-O.
Gelatin.
yeah,
Not
the
gelatin.
terminology.
That's not. No, I meant like the
Well,
sweet
Jell-O is
treat
made out
thing
of, like,
or
gelatin
it's
stuff.
like they're similar,
has
but I don't know.
gelatin.
But yeah, the problem for me is it's all like weird and slippery and horrible.
Great for Jello
Yeah.
shots.
Don't
I
like
actually
it, but I
don't
don't. But
mind
yogurt's fine.
doing a
Yogurt's
Jell-O
great.
shot, though.
Anyway, yeah. Also, we're sponsored by Roll20. They sponsor this ridiculousness, and we use them for all the stuff we do. We have used Roll20 for basically every show we've ever done. There's been like a couple that we haven't because they like haven't required dice rolls or whatever. But yeah, it's super useful. It's got character sheets for like most RPGs out there, probably, or at least most RPGs that anybody
You can
plays.
make your own character
Yeah.
sheets now.
And you can make your own as well. Like previously, when we have got some obscure RPG, or like we've literally made one, someone in the cast has made an RPG, we've been able to ask people that know how that stuff works to be like, hey, can you code a character sheet for us? And they can. So I guess you can do that probably. I can't. I don't know how to code. But it's for people who do, they can totally do that. And yeah, we have giveaways going on. You can check out the pinned tweet on our Twitter for whatever the latest giveaway is. Do we have one going on at the moment, or are we in between
Yes.
them? Oh, nice.
Pinned tweet is pinned. It's like a Groundhog Day. We're giving away another VTM 5e book.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah,
I see what-
basically, I
see
wrote
what you
the
did
copy
there.
like. Yeah,
one gets
I
it
wrote
if they
the-
haven't been
I wrote the
watching
copy like, "Hello,
the Mage."
mages. Didn't we already do this? Maybe not." So,
Nice.
yeah. Go forward. All you have to do is retweet, like the tweet, and follow us over on our Twitter, and you will be potentially a possible winner. And we always announce the winner like right before the show. We announce it publicly so you can see who won it, and then we DM you with the code so that you can activate it on your account.
Yep. So far, we've given out some DD core books and VTM core books, which you have to have, I think, a Roll20 account to get them because they're PDFs. But you get them for free if you do the thing.
And you can sign up for Roll20 with our link, our affiliate link.
Yep. Right. That's all the announcements for the moment. So there we go. Let's talk about how you can support us. We have a Patreon, which we use to fund all of our shows. It is by far and above our main form of income and how we're able to pay all our cast and do all these cool things. So we super appreciate any support that you can give us on there. Please don't give more than your means. Look after yourself first. Put your own mask on before putting other people's masks on, which it now has different context in 2021. It used to just be about planes. But you can support us on there, and there's a whole bunch of tiers that give you a whole bunch of different rewards, including one unlimited 2 MP3s of all of our shows. After shows that we record after every show, we talk about what happens in the show. Though this time, because it's the finale, we'll actually be doing a live after show, so you can get an idea of what they're like. You can also get character sheets. You can get enemy character sheets and stats and like info cards and things like that. Other things about the behind the scenes of campaigns. Right now, there's actually a poll going on for Dungeons & Dragons Ascension that will be wrapping up, I think, before the next episode. We're determining the future of Pietro the Pangolin. He's choosing his own destiny now, by which we mean you're voting for what he's doing instead of us just taking him places. So
Yeah.
you can
Does
decide
he
whether
come
he
with us
comes
on our journey for chapter 3, or does he go on his own journey?
and do crime.
No.
That is
probably
what.
won't.
Find
That's
out
one of
next
the
time.
options. One of the options is do crime.
I know, but I don't want him to go down that path.
He's
He's
already
like my
kind of doing
child.
it. So maybe
Yeah, I
if he
know.
comes with us, he'll
He's
be
going down the
isolated from
gambling
crime
path
for a little
now.
bit.
He's learned that crime is maybe not the best option. 'Cause
It
you
is
end
an
up in prison.
improvement.
But what if you're doing crime to
Maybe.
help people?
That's what he
That's
was
true.
Robin.
doing.
Some of the crime he was doing was kind of Robin Hood-ish, but he was keeping a lot of it for himself at the same time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little bit of a muddy area. So you can now decide his fate, whether you want him to do more crime or come with us, and maybe we can be a good influence. Probably not, but we'll be some influence on him. You can also submit names for NPCs that we will use randomly throughout our shows. You can also watch the monthly recaps where the admins talk about the events of the previous month, how things are going in all the shows, and occasionally give you some hints about things that are coming up. And you can also take part in a once monthly RPG session GM'd by a member of the Roll For It cast. It's not on camera, it's just a private game you get to be a part of in some weird and wacky one-shot system. You can also support us on Twitch as well, of course, doing all the usual Twitch things. You can drop us bits which appear in the cup, and you can fill it up or empty that and do a physics, which is always entertaining. You can give us tips which appear on the screen. You read them out at the end of the show to thank you for being awesome and supporting the episode. And you could also subscribe on Twitch, which gives you emotes and badges and immediate access to the Twitch VODs, because normally you would have to wait 24 hours just to put the VODs up on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you can become a YouTube member over there, and being a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon supporter will give you access to the Discord. So if you want to be in the Discord and you prefer certain things, there's always a way to do it. But there's a whole bunch of different rooms in the Discord for all the shows that we've currently got going, some of them that we don't, as well as stuff for like connecting with other people to play video games and RPGs. There's of course all the roleplay rooms, with of course the Last Ditch roleplay room being by far the busiest at any one moment. And there's also a room to put your clips in. You can post GIFs as well in there if you make those. And we always appreciate people doing that. We love to see clips and GIFs both of Twitch and of YouTube, and we often tweet those out as the as like the announcements.
I've been sharing them, so thank you for clipping.
And it is fun to find those. So yeah, we super appreciate when you do that and you capture cool little moments that are particularly fun to watch in a short form. You can also
I want to do a montage from all of chapter or all of not chapter all of season 2 of The Last Ditch 2. Some pretty funny moments.
It's just all the Last Guest cast. It's just their entire run.
They did have a lot. They are a majority of the clips for sure. But there's clips of the other ones as well.
There was a lot from the first cast as well, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
There was some particular key awesome moments with that one about 6-armed monkeys and centipedes firing laser beams. And licking trees as well. There was that too. Don't
do leaf kids, and also stop licking trees. It's an epidemic.
The important message that our show overall has given the viewers.
Tell Lancaster and Lime that.
You know, if you want to smoke the leaf, if you want to lick some trees, I wholeheartedly support you.
Now I'm imagining Lancaster and Lime on a date.
That would be a mess. That would be an actual mess. It would just be like us going around and just be like, "You want some recaf? Yeah, you want some leaf? Yeah, all right."
And then we mix them and it all goes wrong.
And then and then Lime honestly goes into a fervor, like an actual
I start
kind of
murdering
rampage.
people.
And I just kind of sit there and be like, he's perfect.
Didn't Lime attack Lancaster though?
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of that. Yeah, I mean it worked out fine. He was restrained. People managed to like pin him down or whatever. I forget exactly how it went.
It was in a confined space, so
yeah, it was yeah.
But
it was one time, and we didn't know what boiled leaf did yet, so it's not on Lime.
It was an experiment.
He learned so that other people didn't have to. That's what it was.
He raged so that other people could stay calm.
Yeah.
I want Lime to just get on top of some sort of tyrannid creature and use his las cutter to
I was like, where is that going? He paused.
What was it? Use the lens cutter to what?
just eviscerate it open and just
hop
inside.
And then pilot it?
Yeah.
like a mech. I don't know if that quite works, but that would be cool. I'll take any opportunity to use the las cutter. There's a lot of fun to be had with those. Anyway, that's the Discord. You can do Discord things in there. There's a fan art room as well, and we super appreciate people posting fan art. That's always awesome. We put it in the little compilation thing we do in the break, and all that kind of thing. We also appreciate you just being here, just showing up. You're already helping and supporting us, and that's awesome as well. It's especially awesome if you press all the random buttons around the player that like follow and subscribe and like and whatever. There's all sorts, share. I don't know. There's like social media buttons. I never know what those do. I dare not press them. I don't know what will happen. But you could try it. I don't know. And you can. We also appreciate when you chat and you comment. We try and read all of the chats and all the comments and see what you're all thinking about the show. So we super appreciate that too. And at the end, when we're doing the after show, you can chuck some questions in the chat as well, and we'll see if we can answer them all.
It's live, yeah.
But without further ado, speaking of live, let's get on with the show. That's enough of me.
Okay.
GB has a lot to think about now. He's like, how do I make sure they're on a date?
How do I kill them?
He's been over there plotting the whole time you've been talking, so I'm like wondering what he's up to.
So, in general, the type of association that we've had so far in this episode with the Tyranids is usually reserved for just the Tau. 40k fans will know what I'm talking about. So, we were last time. Oh, and also bed the map, because I'm going to go straight into talking about the map.
All right. It's the map. Oh, it took a second for our cameras to appear, but there they are.
Here, I think. So, a little time has passed. You have essentially all, as commanders, been shepherding your troops to the agreed upon. Essentially, you've headed them all out to the mouth, and are in the midst of organizing and deploying and basically getting ready for what you suspect will be a fairly large siege. Initial scout reports indicate that the orcs are probably having a better time of it than the Tyranids, at least over the big orc presence below the Hive City. One of the reasons for this is those orcs seem to be very specialized in and enthusiastic about melee combat. So that has, and also additionally, like the Tyranids, like obviously dropped in kind of right next to the orcs. Not 100% sure about what the situation in the Hive City is currently, because don't really have anyone there, but it appears to be, I want to, so I kind of have to use the word, but I want it to be very specific, chaotic in there, but it's not chaos in there. There's no chaos in there. It's just chaotic.
It's lower C chaos.
Lower C chaos. Yes. But I've already had issues with people claiming that I'm putting chaos in the game. I haven't yet, but I have no intention to. Maybe.
He said yet.
So, additionally, and for those of you who are interested in seeing like a representation, the Crimson Fists have landed. I put a picture of the Crimson Fist Space Marine in the Roll For It Discord under Sunday Only War if people want to go and see what it looks like. I would love to put it on the map, but as Bentham knows, this is a really large file for the map. I had to specifically downgrade it to get it to even accept being put on Roll20. So the map is currently taking up all of my image space, and I can fit nothing else in.
Okay.
You can see that essentially the mouth has been fortified. The drop fort has been dropped. There is a bridge over to the Hive City continent, and you have taken the one island in between the mouth and the stomach. There are forces of the Imperial Guard, your regiments, on the stomach, but it is not kind of as covered as the mouth. You can see the basic areas of influence for each of the factions. The small one with the small one on over the other side of the bridge is what the Crimson Fist did when they drop potted in. Essentially, they landed on the other side of the bridge, and they have been fortifying that side of the bridge, basically forming a bridgehead.
Are they working with us though?
You have received no communication from them so far.
Cool. There are worse options. as to how they could have responded when they arrived.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, like there's been nothing's been sent back or forth yet. It'll be down to you to decide whether you want to do that or not. But or if they decide to do it, then I'll let you know. But essentially, it doesn't appear like they're looking to expand their area of influence. They appear to just be fortifying and organizing currently. Their fortifications, you know what? You will have gotten reports and things through it, and I know it's his speciality. So Lime, why don't you give me let's go with trade engineering. That probably fits the bill the best.
Okay.
Maybe Technomat, but essentially it'll give you an idea of It'll give you an idea of like comparative to your work as a regiment. How
4.3. Nice.
I rolled a 7.
A 7.
Wow, well done.
I did bless this episode with sheepy dice. Well, there you go. I felt like I should just as it's a finale. So yeah, they have like tech priest marines. You know, they have a lot of resources and busy workers to kind of help them out with it. Their fortifications are pretty impressive. You think you could, I don't want to say you think you could learn something, but you could probably take a decent amount away from the stuff they're building, and also like maybe replicate it in the future, or you know. But yeah, it's very impressive defensive work. Did we have a law roll? I think we had a law roll on, and someone succeeded.
Yeah, we did. We rolled on. I don't think it was me who succeeded. I forget who did.
Yeah. I think I succeeded.
So I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah. So I'll add in with that successful law roll from last session that essentially your knowledge of the Crimson Fist is limited, and the Space Marines in general is reasonably limited. All the additional information you have is essentially they are specialists in orc fighting, and also they have a tendency towards defensive fortifications and basically fortifying up. So makes sense. So with that said, if you look at the map, you can see that and this is basically for the most part, aside from the hive situation, so avert your eyes from the hive, you don't know that in character.
Okay.
Aside from the hive part, this is the information you have. A couple of...
We do have some people in the hive.
I believe they were all evacuated. You essentially called for a pullout or a...
Okay.
No, sorry. You wanted to abandon the hive, right? So it was essentially like...
Yeah, because we moved to the mouth and the stomach.
Yeah, and then we could use the bridge as the defensive line.
Yeah, and you were worried
I just know we
about...
still had some troops that were in there. I didn't know if we were able to evacuate them. Okay.
Thing here, but I don't know.
But we might not know that there's like what
Yeah.
it looks like. There's a contingent of guard like holding out against the thing that's in the center that I won't name in case anyone doesn't know what it is. But we probably don't know because they probably don't have contact with us at the moment.
Okay, so as far as we know, all the people that we had in there have returned.
Yeah, they're either with you now or they are not in contact.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we probably have a bunch of people unaccounted for, and we're like, could have been hit by Nids falling from the sky. Who knows?
You mean like all of my troops that would have been especially useful in this situation? Yeah.
You still have troops. Feel bad for Bentham, who lost like 100,000 or something.
I lost.
I lost most of the force I've ever had. No one else can say anything. I have like 50,000 men or something.
I lost 4 of the 10, sheepy. 4 of the 10 are gone.
You did. But I will also say you've probably been the luckiest in terms of overall campaign and losing troops.
So
it doesn't matter for right now, sheepy.
Bandy did really well this season, though.
I did great. I did terrible last season.
Oh god.
Where I was I was just the comic relief. And then this season, I was like, you know what? We're gonna buckle
War
down.
crimes.
And
You're still the comic relief in war crimes.
okay.
You can
You know
have
what?
comic relief and war crimes at the same time.
It'd probably have to like
I guess. I mean, listen.
Cooking roll.
probably have to split your time
First of
between
all-
war crimes and
I have somebody to do my cooking rolls now for me. So I'm
Someone
Wait,
else does
we
the
didn't roll for
cooking
Flat
for me.
Haggerty. If Flat Haggerty died, Cheapy, we need to roll for that.
no, why? What, Tyler? You're so vindictive.
he really is,
I'm
isn't
pretty
he?
sure he will have been covered in
survived.
amongst all the other roles.
Yeah, he survived. He didn't get.
Flat
he didn't
Haggerty is
get
alive. As
Yeah.
far like from my, I'm looking at my sheet right now, and I see Flat
he
Haggerty
survived
still
last
alive.
episode.
Flat Haggerty, to my knowledge, has never left the HQ, which would be on Breaker's Yard. So the role would not be needed. However,
Why would he leave?
however, I'm
He's the cook.
I'm open to bribes if anyone would like
Open
to.
to-
Oh,
Convince
okay,
me.
okay.
Uh-oh,
Or-
Tyler, hit him
Tyler's
with your best
going.
shot, because
or if Vandy upsets me, in which case I may put Flat Haggerty on a different planet.
TP,
But
have I
did
told
he
you how
get there?
wonderful
He's
your
the
beard looks
personal
today?
cook.
I offer you textbook.
Oh no,
Ooh.
actually.
Oh, I see.
Are you sacrificing to dark gods to get one of your fellow?
Well, now we've got
regimental
chaos.
commanders?
Now, you know, we said we didn't have chaos, but
I'm tempted just to
like-
do it because I feel like that would summon chaos.
It's
Chaos
like,
would
right,
turn
like,
up.
over on the mouth in the dark of night in the middle of a thunderstorm. Primer,
We have to
like,
roll to see
ascends
where
a hill
chaos
and then like
drops.
sacrifices textbook.
you know,
And Korn
You
is
know-
like, yes,
I think.
it will be done. Actually, probably wouldn't be Korn. He'd be like, what are you doing? You just stabbed a guy who was like tied to a slab. That's not proper combat. Get
You
out
know
of here.
what? I think that would be Slanesh just purely because it's very excessive.
Yeah, it's true. Like a very fancy ritual sacrifice would be Slanesh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So going past the hive and the new vendetta we have, where Tyler now wants to kill other people's characters with sacrifices to dark gods. Yeah,
just
it's,
mine.
it's essentially
Just mine.
the Tyranids drop down around the large rock. The orcs had time to spread out, and you were already fighting them.
Mm-hmm.
So there was essentially a good few Tyranid drops that happened right in the middle of like swarming gaggles of orcs. So you're not 100% sure the information you've received isn't enough to say that those Tyranid bits have been wiped out. But there's no information saying that they haven't. It's, you know, it's very...
Not
Wait.
confirmed nor denied.
Wait. I have something for this. I have
Yes.
something. I have someone
Okay.
for this. Hold on. Scrolling. Where is my new person here? Okay. Captain Alias Malloy. Recon specialist, enemy movement and tracking, effective use of sentinel squads for recon purposes. Deploy to an enemy force and retain up-to-date and exact records of enemy forces, numbers, and movement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty sure if you sent them to the orcs or the Tyranids, they'd get eaten.
Well, we
They
don't know
Roll for their
that.
You roll for their
So-
survival, man.
Sentinels might be quick enough to get away from Nids. I'm not sure.
Sentinels, whether you want to deploy them with Sentinels or not, is down to you, and if you want to make any rolls tactically, etc. for that.
I have the Sentinels and the Lehman Russ.
You do. You did bring them with you. You had time. Just remember that. But essentially, for that Lancaster, it's very possible that the cover of foot would be decent enough for like,
Okay.
you know, basically staying on foot and staying at distance. The likelihood is that the orcs are still fighting the Tyranids, and they're trying to figure out who's going to be the one to end up smashing against your barricades and everything.
I want smash. Let me go.
Yeah.
My smash bigger than your smash.
My brain
So-
is not.
That's the conversation that's happening.
Orcs like to smash. What can I say?
Yeah.
No wonder they populate so quickly.
Right?
Anyway. Ah, damn. All right. Anyway. All right.
Now orcs are added to the list. Okay.
Steve, weren't
Lancaster.
like that. They're a fungus.
They're fun guys.
Oh no.
None of you are helping. None of you. And 0% of you are helping. Okay.
Are you sure
I
they're fun guys or are they funk guys?
Oh.
They probably
Why?
smell it.
Because they're
Yeah,
because they're
stinky.
fungus. Okay, so
I'm here to help, Andy. How can I help?
They're coming.
terrifying.
Yeah, they're on the planet. They landed. It's too late.
Yeah, help, they're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would love to deploy Malloy to basically, because we don't know any of the information. Like, can you ping basically where they would be fighting? Is it be around here or here?
So they'll be fighting basically around these points where the Tyranid logos are and the Tyranid. This is all basic approximation of what you knew of the drops when they happened, and essentially like the last time you had eyes on.
Okay.
So,
but we need fresh information essentially. So
fresh information would be good.
What I will do, because we know that these two have dropped there, like that's going to be a pretty hot spot, I think, of activity.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be fighting here because they're essentially surrounded. And depending on how this goes, they're either going to be pushing up towards here or they're going to be pushing in. So if I can deploy Malloy.
Ahoy, Malloy.
Ahoy
Ahoy,
Manoi. Somewhere like Breaker's Yard right now has wait, who are these people?
Don't worry about it. We don't know that.
Oh, we don't know these people. That's right.
We know out of character if you
Hive
know
and who
40K,
knows?
Do we know? Okay, wait. Do
but
we
we
know
don't
that's
know in character.
So,
in character? We don't know anything about this right here, right?
We just
Don't-
know the hive is probably taken over, probably.
So you know that something hit the hive.
But we don't know what.
You know that there was unrest in the hive.
Okay.
You're
Excuse me.
not sure of any details. Sending your scouts to the hives to essentially ascertain what's going on there is another valid move. Essentially, the problem you will have is like if you sent the scouts to here to look on this force.
I cannot see your pings.
Yeah, we don't see your pings.
Wait, ready? Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably on your
Oh,
GM
I
layer.
see the pings.
It's because it's on the GM layer. Then. Yeah, here.
That's why you see Bentham and we
Oh
don't.
yeah.
So this
Usually
like,
when E's trying to do it and we don't see it, it's because he's on the layer. That's why I figured.
it's actually because I tried to add the frickin' Crimson Fist image to the map layer so I could reveal it afterwards. And I was like, I'm sorry, you've got a giant map in your inventory. You can't have anything else.
It's like you've already got 3 million pixels going on. You're not having any more.
I downscaled it, but I downscaled it from what I said to you. But essentially, if you sent it over here, and hopefully you can see that now.
Yeah, we see it.
Then because that force is not engaged with anyone, they're very obviously going to keep expanding, and it risks your scouts to a certain extent. So you'll probably take losses at a guess.
Well, I don't want to go here. Like, I would rather check out what has hit the mind.
Here.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like the best course of action than get cut off in a no.
It's essentially for the is he a lieutenant? Sorry.
He is I will be able to tell you in just a moment. He is a captain.
Captain. So for the captain and his force of specialists, you can, for example, set him about finding out information about what's happening in the hive. You can set him to kind of head down this way and keep an eye on this conflict down here.
Okay.
Another option you can do is just set him up in an area and ask him to keep recon on said area. So, for example, you could ask for him to be reconning like this area, kind of around here, and that won't necessarily.
Hey, ping that again. Ping that one more time.
Sorry, just kind of like around this area, kind of in between Breakers, the Mind, and the Crimson Fist Fortress.
Okay.
Essentially, what that will do is it won't give you guaranteed information about any of the forces. It's very possible they'll pick that up as they go, but that'll be like alternative. It will be like an additional to their objective, which is essentially as enemies come towards that area, they will note it and it will be, you know, relayed to you.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because that way we can at least have preventative measures before they get to the Crimson Fist, and then the Crimson Fist, if ever they push out, then they can have some numbers on, some approximate numbers on what's going on towards the mine and in the south.
So his name is Captain. Sorry, what is it?
I can send you how it's written here.
Thank you. I have it in my list, but I'm not 100% sure on the.
I'll just put it in in the Roll20 chat here.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Sheepy,
Yes.
I want to find out how fast legs can run. So I'm
That's
just
such
gonna.
a funny phrase.
Is it like in comparison to various kinds of Tyrannid?
Yeah, you know.
So I believe. Give me a second here. There we go. Pretty fast.
Damn.
He has 4 ticks. He has 4 ticks in athletics.
Yeah, but he still is only a 60%.
It's pretty damn good for a trooper, to be honest. Imperial Guardsman. Yeah, essentially you want a area recon is the top priority for that setup.
Yeah.
And essentially standing orders would be area recon, and then if enemy sighted, slowly pull back and maintain recon.
Yeah, pretty much. I also, like, I'm wondering if it's worth, shoot. Dub Oblon. What did we have? Why is my purple tag here? Where? I don't know. Like, I had a few of them highlighted in purple and I can't remember. Oh, that was from a different operation. Okay, never mind.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and they're all pulled back to us now. So actually, if I can deploy Major Dub Oblon with him, just to allow for proficient retreating, and in case like they start charging or anything, it's more like a second, like a preventative measure to prevent them from, you know, getting caught.
You'd also attach like slight more importance to the operation if you have a major in charge of it. Yeah. So, and also additionally, if you want, you can field more troops. I don't think you'll want to, but
I don't know if it's completely necessary. I think it's more just, you know, want to make sure that they are safe, because they're a pretty important recon mission. And granted, like, the recon mission itself is going to be like fairly covert, but if they need to retreat, then at least Dub Oblon's there to help to manage that. So
okay, how many troops do you want to assign to this?
What would be a reasonable amount to not raise too much suspicion?
Given the
suspicion amongst us or suspicion amongst the Tyranids?
Suspicion's the wrong word. Attention. Yeah.
So it would depend on the essentially size you want to cover. The more troops you add in, I would say probably up to about 5,000-6,000 would be able to cover more ground and would be able to maintain the communications basically and keep things. There's also a possibility that, you know, the more people there are, the more someone may notice something that will get back to you.
Let's do 5,500.
Okay.
I think that's a decent amount.
Okay. If you like, you can assign a operation name, but this is essentially it's kind of a not exactly an operation. It's more of a
recon is an operation, though.
yeah. I would say it would classify.
Operation 12 Eyes.
I was just thinking that. I was literally just thinking, yeah. Yeah, we'll call it Operation 12 Eyes.
Sorry, baby.
You could go with
No, that's exactly like that was the I was trying to think of if there was another name for it, but honestly 12-I is what we'll call it.
You could call it Operation Recognize.
I'm gonna go with 12I, like just Operation 12I for now. Yeah. 12-I. Yeah.
Okay. So that's also just given the fact that you're sending them out, I can give you a little bit more information on the Space Marines, on the Crimson Fists, because they'll be heading through that area. It's just a very basic, informational drop, which is that the Space Marines appear to have organized small squads of what would be classified as tactical and devastator squads, along with armor and dreadnoughts, which essentially is Space Marine dreadnoughts and Space Marine rhinos predominantly. There's probably you get in your report like maybe a couple of land raiders. But
okay,
damn
they're bringing the serious guns.
The rhinos, like that's all right.
There's also a significant contingent.
I have these. I can show them off.
Oh yeah. There's also a significant contingent of tech priests and a reasonable number of like apothecaries and etc.
Sweet.
Doesn't appear to be like any shining beacon of commandership. You know, there's no one who stands out significantly as like in command, but they also didn't talk to anyone. They kind of essentially the report you get is like, oh, I went through, but we kind of skirted them a little bit, and we kept our head down and hoped that they didn't notice us, and they basically paid no attention, and no one died, as far as I can tell.
All right. Well, that's not too bad. I suppose maybe it might be worth for us to go and say hi, possibly. Maybe. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with it as the commanders. So, just be on your way.
Which are?
I don't have my
didn't we
rhino,
talk
but
about
I have
this
a
last
Land Raider.
time?
This is what a Land Raider looks like. I haven't painted it. I'm the worst.
Didn't we talk? Oh yeah. So didn't we talk about it last time though? As like it might be not the greatest idea to talk to them because they might just kill us for doing that.
Should we have like the commander meeting about what to do about the Space Marines?
Yeah, we can do.
Kinda. I think that might be a good idea.
Let me just finish up with the sit rep basically before we jump into.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes. So you got decent information on the Crimson Fists. The Evergreen Legion has brought the majority of their troops to the mouth and is essentially acting as a garrison in a lot of the spots, just in case of like airdrops or any kind of like unforeseen problems on those lines. They still have forces with which they can deploy if requested, but for the most part, for now, they're acting in kind of like a defensive capacity and garrison capacity for the territory you currently own. One very valid option that you may want to consider is deploying them out into the stomach, because they have the numbers to basically cover that area, and it would free up your forces if you want to do other things. Additionally, there are holdouts on other planets with the Evergreen Legion. So if any of the rear guards part of the Evergreen Legion, have fun with that. You can, go nuts with being part of the Evergreen Legion on one of the other planets. And there are 2 holdout pockets of orcs and Tyranids who are the best way I could describe it. I'll ping it just so you can see where it is. But the best way I could describe it is the orcs are fighting both you and the Tyranids. The Tyranids are kind of reacting to attacks from both yourselves and from the orcs, and you have essentially kept them contained while organizing and all of that type of thing. There's no specific operation or deployment to deal with it. It's more of a kind of essentially you met their lines and stopped them from spreading any further. And with the orcs, you did also obviously push them back because they were expanding a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, if you would like to have a team meeting about possible space marine problems, then that's yeah.
Imagine we're
Primer's
back
busy
in
giving us. I was gonna say Primer's busy giving a speech about being 1 to the 21st.
Sorry, yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, he's got to
Oh
do
my
that.
gosh, yeah.
Oh no.
Would you like to? I mean, we can retroactively have the conversation if you'd like a moment for the speech, or if you'd like, we can just go into what he says.
I mean, we can go into what he says later, or we can leave it up to guessing. I don't know. Whatever you want me to do.
Interesting. I think if you'd like, we can have the conversation about the Space Marines. Essentially, this will be a little bit before you go out to do your speech, and then you could do the speech because I'm a little bit interested if any of the rear guards, the people role playing, will be at the speech and have thoughts and stuff on it. So that could be fun to see. So yeah, let's have a little bit before Primer decides to go out and basically tell everyone that he's a last stand magnet. Yeah, you're all in the essentially put together HQ, relocated over to the other side, and currently you're not sure what to do about the Space Marines because they're there and they haven't reached out to you, and I imagine you'll want to talk about that.
I imagine we're now back in a tent again, similar to when we first set up shop here, and we're just there's just 1-4 looking wistfully across the water at the distant fort that they spent the entire campaign building and had to abandon, and we're just kind of starting afresh here. And I'm just damn it, we were doing so well. I mean, it doesn't necessarily surprise me that they haven't spoken to us. They're the sort to come here and just get done the job that they're here to do, which is probably fight the Tyranids and the orcs.
Not enough preparation with the 12th to make sure that hopefully we won't be completely executed.
The way I feel about it is if we give them information, they will give information back in kind, as far as I would expect.
Not sure about what they'll give back, but it doesn't hurt to be helpful to them and tell them anything they need to know. If we're going to send anyone, it's got to be one of us. I don't think they will appreciate us sending an underling or a representative. Could be all of us, one of us, or a handful.
Should definitely be at least the person who is most aligned with their convictions. And I look at Rickenbacker.
I do not know them well, but only of what you've told me. I am willing to do whatever it may be, but we must go across that bridge if we would like to fight the battle that I see ahead of us.
Well, I think we should take care of what's going on our little island here first.
I do not disagree with that, but I feel like that is something that your troops can probably do.
Well, I've been itching to get back on the front lines.
And me as well.
I'll never understand that, I'll be real.
Well, clearing out the mouth is the one fight I'm fairly sure we can win. There's not that many of them. We fought both before in some form. We should be able to handle it.
Right.
And I think the Astartes will appreciate if we can tell them that we have that situation in hand. I don't know how far exactly it goes in terms of rankings, but they're Space Marines. Probably each one of them outranks us. We now report to them. So, whatever we can give them is helpful, and if they give us orders, we'll follow them.
Very well then.
I'm happy to go across in a delegation as well. I don't know that we need all of us, but I'm happy to be there. If it's anything like the Mechanicus we encountered at the end of the Draco Mal campaign, I think I get how you're supposed to handle them.
I've got other things to attend to before I do any of that, so you'll be without me.
And I don't want to die, so you'll be without me.
There's an internal sigh of relief, particularly about Primer saying he doesn't want to be there because Lime is thinking about the conversation with the Mechanicus.
Yeah.
He's like, I got nothing against Primer, but I don't know if we should have him talking to people this much higher above us.
That's an interesting question. Like how your ranks will go with the Space Marine ranks, and
yeah,
like each one of them is like
Bentham's
an
characters
army.
seem to know the most about them. None of us really rolled very well on it.
I don't know that I knew much about them specifically, but I think
no,
Lime...
you didn't. But you knew the most out of all of us when we were doing the rolls last
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
We all rolled
I think
so
that,
bad.
yeah, I know that Lime...
I think Primer and Lime both knew stuff. I don't remember who rolled higher, but
when it comes to Lime, he knows to fear people very far above you.
Well, that's a good point. Let's have a roll for this specifically, because it's slightly different. Essentially, how do Space Marines, if you want, it's basically common law, Imperial Guard, or Imperium would be the role here. It's
Personally, I feel like I rolled so bad last time that I shouldn't have a roll this time. I'm okay with me not knowing.
You're allowed a roll, but if you'd like to take some minuses, I wouldn't say no.
Exactly one.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a
additional degree of
minus. I just feel like it's not.
It isn't something that Rickenbacker is much aware of or concerned about, as far as I can tell.
Also,
take a minus 20.
I'm sad because I have a Rhino and I have Dreadnoughts, but they're not here.
-1.
They're at my parents. Like
That's not bad for a
This
minus
then?
20.
Should I roll this too then, I guess?
Sure, if you like.
Is that also going
I'm
to be a
rolling with a
minus
minus 20.
Yeah, it's essentially how do regardless of rank, how does Space Marines kind of go with Imperial Guard, and if you're working together, do they outrank you regardless of actual military rank, or kind of how does that work?
But that was with a minus 20, so
It's slightly different from knowledge of like the actual Space Marines themselves, the chapter, all that type of thing. So for Lime, essentially, Space Marines, it depends a little bit on who's in command of this excursion. It's probably not a chapter master, so but it's very possible, even if they have like a lieutenant or something, that they don't outrank you, but they may not care. And the Space Marines have a tendency to a mix of doing the job and being very, let's call it, evangelical. So it's very possible that you'd be forced to press the issue. And in this situation, it's a question of whether you'd want to press the issue. Because, I imagine you have like a story of an Imperial Guardsman who you like served with in the past who told you about like his commander who went to go and talk to a space marine once, and they were like, no, you're trying to tell me what to do, I refuse. And then he's like, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to insist, and then just got shot in the face and nothing happened about it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
that's
that's
the kind of thing. Is like, you might, if you're lucky, you can speak out a turn once.
yeah, and
don't find out whether you're that lucky though.
There are instances where the Space Marines will abide by a command from the Imperial Guard. In general, it tends to be like generals, like much higher rank than you, and people who tend to have a like more overarching control of a war or battlefield or whatever it ends up being. So you could try your luck.
Good with following orders, so.
Yeah, you could try your luck and hope, but you're given the role and what you know about Space Marines, you're not very confident. And also, as a side piece of information, you do have your reports in all guises compiled and ready to go.
Oh yeah, so he made like a bajillion reports there.
Oh yeah, no, I asked for like every level of detail because I'm like, they may be like, this is too many pages, blam, or they may be like, this is not enough information, blam.
It is essentially, it's all there and ready to go, but because you weren't contacted and you haven't sent anyone over to contact, it's like waiting there as kind of like a to be implemented.
Okay, good.
So yeah, you want to send are you going over yourself? Is it a Rickenbacker excursion? Where are we going with this?
Lime's happy to go with me, Lime? As well. Yeah, so I think it's Lime and Rickenbacker. Okay. Lime's going to bring his aide along.
That's an interesting combo.
Garnet.
Usually it's like Lime and Lancaster, or Lime and... That'd be interesting.
Yep. Okay.
And yeah, definitely Lime to Garnet is like, yeah, come with me, make sure you have all the reports, multiple copies, the ability to make more copies, maybe bring more, get some sub-aids that like have more, like just anything they could possibly ask for. And also, I want you to personally ensure that there are at least 2 locked doors in between those Space Marines and Scriven.
Right you are, sir. I'll get on that right away. I might have to commandeer a truck to bring the information with.
That works. That's fine.
Aye, sir.
I had never understood why there's so much paperwork. In the end, it is just going to come down to the blood on the battlefield.
When it comes to negotiations and communications with the likes of the Astartes, paperwork is your shield.
I understand.
Feel like you're talking to Rickenbacker with a giant shield, like propped up against.
Oh yeah, it's like you may have an actual physical shield. My shield is made of data slates.
My shield is knowledge.
I'm a nerd.
Oh man,
I love it.
40K is a trip. Jesus Christ.
So. While Rickenbacker,
I think I'm the least nerdy of all of you, but yeah.
While Rickenbacker and Lime are headed off to go and talk to some Space Marines, God, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Primer heads out and, as previously we went over, like gathers up essentially the officer corps of his troops, and like you have essentially like a Vox caster that is hooked up to a lot of speakers around the place, basically, so that you can address. It will address other regiments as well, partially, just FYI. But it is predominantly, like, the shout has been sent out to gather 21st around these projectors.
Primer would personally walk over to Lancaster and say, Lancaster, as an honorary member of the 21st, you have a number. You are welcome to join and be in attendance for such an occasion.
Oh. Well, that's quite the honor, actually. It's not going to be weird or anything.
No.
All right, I suppose. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Should I bring anything? Am I dressed appropriately? Do I need, I don't know, stilts to look taller?
No.
All right.
Just dress uniform.
Right. Well.
That is if you want to stand on the same area as I do during the speech.
Oh. Yeah, all right, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, all right.
Just as a sidebar for you, Primer, Bulwarker's with you, and essentially, like, if you want to have told him what your intention is, you can have, or it can, be a...
I'm not filling him in.
Fair enough. Because he's one of the people who knows, right? As I remember.
Yeah, Bulwark knows.
Does Lancaster bring some food? Do we get a cooking roll?
Not to this. Holy shit, this is too much of an honor. Like,
But wouldn't that be what you bring to an honorable?
If this were last season's Lancaster, absolutely. This season's Lancaster is a little bit more.
Lancaster's definitely got more serious as a commander.
Yeah, just a smidge.
We just have Haggerty make it for you.
I mean, I'm not bringing it to like if he were coming to like a thing with the 12th, then yeah, I'd be making food. But if this were like the other way around here, as it is, bringing food, I'm just gonna stick out like a sore thumb, and already Lancaster does not want to do that.
Gotcha.
Essentially, Primer's about to say, "I'm cursed," and you're he's basically gonna say to his entire regiment, "I'm cursed, and the reason we may all die in a last stand." And then Lancaster would be like, "I bought muffins."
Hey, look, that would be great for me if someone's like, "You're about to die," and I'm like, "Great, at least I got muffins, man."
I would honestly I'd bring muffins ahead of time. Just be like, "Hey, do you want a muffin? Do you want a muffin? Do you want a muffin? They're fresh baked. They're really good. By the way, we're all gonna die, but at least you got a muffin."
Tyler, just as a question, I have a vague idea. How many troops do you have on the planet?
100-something thousand. Hold on, let me.
I think it might be closer to 200,000, possibly. It's quite a lot. I know that.
Oh yeah, 282,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Almost 300,000.
That's a lot of muffins, but if you want to make that cooking roll, go ahead.
You have that many? Dang, nice. I have 204,440.
Also, I want to apologize to Bentham. I didn't mean this to be a troop measuring contest, but
53,775.
I also have 102,000 in orbit, but I'm assuming that I don't get those because they're
dead.
In orbit. Yeah.
I had 100,000 in orbit. They're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I brought all of mine onto the planet.
I didn't even get. They were on their way. I was gonna deploy them as soon as they got here.
It's 100,000 though. They've got to be able to fight something up there. Maybe some of them are still alive, at least for my troops.
If the ship just got like numbed by like a Tyranid Kraken ship, they could just snap it
true.
off.
If that happened, then that,
I have like 90, almost 95,000.
That's not bad.
I imagine that they breach the hull of an Imperial Guard ship and then they just slurp up the inside contents.
If you've seen Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 or played it or anything, like the Tyranid ships are so scary.
Yeah, they're horrifying, but it's great.
Oh yeah. So yes, in that case, Primer, the floor is yours. You have like a little podium actually, or like little stage bits set up for you. But when you're ready, you can flip the Voxcaster on, and essentially address your regiment.
So I imagine there's some that are there in person.
Most of the officers, yeah.
So visually, Primer walks out. He's still got his dog tags on. He's full like dress uniform, bionic eye, bionic leg, very obviously clinking as he steps. Looks Bulwark in the eyes, nods, and grabs the Vox from Click.
Yeah.
and says, 21st. This is a momentous day for all of us. It is a culmination of our efforts on this planet. We find ourselves in a situation facing a front of orcs and Tyranids. We have Space Marines by our side that hopefully will play nice. With that said, there's an important thing I need to inform you. We stand surrounded, displaced, with no escape as it stands at this moment. We must fight to survive. We must fight to serve the Imperium with our lives, as we are trusted to do so as the 21st. I am one. The sole designated last stand commander. I have long been this, as it was assigned as birth, as all of your numbers have. They have meaning, they have purpose. They give us our strength and our power to be effective, to be the ultimate soldier within the Imperium. Trained to survive, outlast, and explode our way through the battlefield. This is not a curse. For as one, I believe that we will make it through. Against all odds, we will survive and decimate the enemy fronts that we face in any battle. Conflicted you may feel about what I am and what this number means, but I promise you I will not stand behind walls. I will fight alongside you, and we will make it through this together for the Imperium.
So there's kind of like, please, could you roll me a scrutiny? Take a plus 20.
I gotta pull up my character sheet that I can't find. There it is. Scrutiny plus 20.
Yes, please.
Would I also be able to do that as standing near him, looking out onto the thing?
Yeah. The likelihood is that you would also be kind of like gauging the reaction as it happens, so that makes sense.
Okay. .4.
1.4 success. Nice. So for you, Primer, when you finish your speech and give the side of the Aquila, there's no kind of discernible passion or emotion from your officers, and obviously you can't tell for the further away troops and everything. But immediately they all kind of like come to attention and give the side of the Aquila as well. And like there's no discernible kind of shock or hesitance in the action. For Lancaster, from what you can basically figure out of their reaction, it appears that possibly there were either rumors or suspicions of such a fact, but also just like a number is important, but it's not everything a man is. So essentially, like, as far as you can tell, it's like, okay, new information, weigh that against what we know of our commander, and it seems like the past experiences and trust kind of outweigh that probably.
I would simply then just look over at Primer and just kind of give a little nod, just being like, you're good, kind of thing.
Bulwark goes over to you and like gives a sign of Aquila to you and like holds out his hand in kind of a in kind of like a you know, that typical like grasp my hand and will you know.
Primer acknowledges this, rips his dog tags off his neck into his hand, and clasps it with the dog tags in hand.
Bulwark does the same, like takes his dog tags and grasps your hand with it and leaves the dog tags in your hand. And he says, "I'm with you, sir." If you want to take a look at the dog tags, you can.
I will.
Where your number is 1, his is 10.
Oh.
Which is a number of a legacy number of the. Would you like to know? I have the list up. Would you like to know what that is?
For the audience, I remember you telling me, but
this is target number 10 in V10. Target always gets the worst of the fighting, the most bloody and highest casualties on the line. He is also, technically speaking, a cursed number.
Oh no.
He's also survived quite a bit as number 10.
Yeah.
They both have the number 1 in them, though.
Essentially,
damn.
Since the time on Draco Mal, since you told him, he's pretty much been with you throughout a decent amount of the campaign and everything.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Primer's gonna take both of the dog tags and stand in front of Lancaster and stick his hand out, hanging them in the air as if to hand them to her, Lancaster.
Oh, I'll very tentatively like reach up my hand, I guess. With I'll take my dog tag off too, like holding it kind of like in unison, I guess, while I put out my hand.
Keep your tags on, but hold on to these for me.
Well, you're gonna be getting it back anyway. And I just kind of take them out of his hand, and I'll be like, and you too, big man.
With what we're facing now, I anticipate getting them back, sure. But the point being is I am the dog tags. That number is me. I don't need the reminder anymore.
I don't think they will either. Just kind of gesturing out to the crowd.
They're still at attention and doing the sign of the Aquila, by the way.
I'm just gonna raise the dog tags up and just yell out to the crowd, "For the Imperium!"
You get a reply from the officers of "For the Emperor." It's not like a correction; it's like a response, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put the dog tags back on and just kind of look at them and be like, "Time to get to work."
Yep. Primer's gonna walk off.
Okay.
He walked off when you said that.
Yeah. And after a few moments, after Primer's walked off, the officers kind of relax and drop out of their salute, and like kind of wander off. Not a super load of conversation or anything between them. Essentially, they're just headed off to their respective squads and places. Generally, from what snippets of conversation you can get, as you're still there, it seems like they're just going to make sure that none of the troops are going to be difficult about the revelation or anything like that. Basically, maintain discipline. It's not a massive worry because the 21st are pretty damn disciplined regardless. Like, they do grow up essentially as trainees, so.
Should check on my regiment.
Yeah.
Because they probably have heard. I mean, I'm willing to bet some of them had snuck into there anyway.
Well, I mean, it was broadcast about the continent essentially, so it will have been in within range of 12th ears, definitely, and everyone else's regiments as well.
I'm imagining that across all the troops, there's 21st troopers who are going, damn it, and then handing over packs of glow sticks to other troopers who are like, I knew it.
Yeah, probably same in the 12th, honestly. Like,
one thing I will say is, given the majority lack of it's already integration, but given the lack of for the most part like working together and opping together, I imagine it wouldn't have as much of an impact on many of the troopers of your regiments comparative to the 21st. I don't know how much the numbers would have, the importance of the numbers would have spread between your regiments. So,
I do want to say, when you look at the dog tags, the difference between the number 10 and the difference between the number 1 is significant, in the sense that the number 1 dog tag is like not fresh.
Yeah,
it's like old. It's been like passed down. It's not been lost and reforged. It's one of the few dog tags that has stood since the beginning of the tradition.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'd like, it's probably in stark contrast also to like the 12i one. So
yes, very obvious.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna like low-key be like, oh, I sure hope this doesn't mean I'm gonna be number 1 after, if he passes.
Oh, anything works.
No, it's not. It's not at all. But like, that's how Lancaster would be like,
how Lancaster does this mean I'm 1 now?
That actually brings up an interesting point, which is worth just asking Primer.
Mm-hmm.
The possibility of death means that you would essentially, like that would suck, but also it means that another one would be brought up once word gets back, and like, how does Primer feel about someone else being one after him? Because it's quite a rough burden to put on someone.
He's not bothered by it because it's
it's
the
just
way
how
of
it
his
is.
people.
Yeah.
Also, he'd be dead.
True. But he has the unique perspective of knowing what it's like to be one. So
he also handed off his dog tags in case he does die. That's a very important artifact to not be lost.
Yeah. And I could guarantee the 12th will either keep it very close to hand, or somebody else in the 12th will be able to find it and give it back. So
are Rickenbacker and Lancaster the only 2 other people that have dog tags outside of Grenadiers?
I would say most likely there are allies and friends who've been, given dog tags in the past throughout history. Currently alive, very possibly the only ones.
Nice. That's cool.
Part of me.
You also are the 2 that were designated by 1 when Primer was 1.
Yeah. Does that continue after we die? Like, would the number designation still continue after we die, or is it just like a special resignation for just us?
You could pass it on.
Yeah, it's more technically it's more of an honor given to someone who is a good friend or ally of the 21st.
Okay.
However, there's It's very possible that the tags get passed on and would be recognized by the 21st.
Okay.
Kind of
Yeah,
a
fair enough.
friend of a friend type thing, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
cool.
For you
I like
guys,
it.
it probably would get passed down. If you have family, it would go down your family as opposed to redesignated like the
Right.
21st do.
More like a relic than an actual designation then. Okay.
Almost like a medal.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Lancaster's gonna vox into Freely.
Okay.
Freely!
Yes, sir.
I assume the news has spread.
I mean, it's still spreading, sir, but there's not much we can do about it. And
Right.
honestly, I don't think it's that much of a problem.
I wouldn't think it'd be a problem, simply just
Oh no, we
thing.
just have to keep it hidden, and no one will ever know. We'll never even get in trouble for it.
what's this now?
What were you talking about?
I love
That's
Freely
perfectly.
so much.
That's perfectly in line with.
Freely, where are you? Freely? You're taking too long to respond.
So I'm
Really?
I'm right here, sir.
Where is that, Freely?
Oh, it's close to the HQ, but kind of not in the HQ. I'm a little ways down with a couple of squads, just making sure that discipline's remaining standard.
Really?
After the yes, sir.
Why are you trying to lie to me when I clearly am the one who defends you the most? Please.
I'm not trying to lie to you, sir. I just am lying to you.
Right? Why are you lying to me? Where are you?
I'm by the bridge, sir.
I'm gonna go over towards the
Oh
bridge.
no.
It's quite a walk, just FYI, from the HQ.
If I can take a drive over to the bridge.
Okay, yeah.
And on my way, I'm gonna be like, why are you by the bridge, Freely?
Information received. I thought I should investigate for the sake of the regiment and the saving of all of our souls, so we don't get murdered, sir.
Did you want to pass that along to your commander?
I thought I could deal with the situation as quickly as possible, sir, and hopefully no one would ever have to know.
And what exactly is that issue?
The unfortunate accidental acquisition of Astartes equipment and then hiding of such thing.
That's exactly what I knew it was happening.
But it's all right, because I've buried it and no one will ever know, sir.
No, really, no. It's been an honor, everyone.
No one knows, it's fine, sir.
Who else knows, Freely?
Just the one squad, sir.
How many people in that squad?
7.
I am bringing a vehicle over now. You will get in, and we will discuss on the way back.
Aye, sir.
Fucking
They just
Fucking
toss
hell.
it into the water, or did they like dig a hole and bury it?
They dug a hole and buried it, but yeah, that's...
Fuck me. Freely!
Is
Bro!
that what you say when you jump out? Like...
I just fucking, like, punch him, like, just straight up, like, clock him on the side of the face.
He's like kind of staggers a bit and then comes back to attention. You can tell the seriousness of the situation because he's like, he like gives a sign of Aquila, you hit him, and he kind of like staggers and it falls apart, and then he goes straight back and he's like there again. It's like, yes, sir.
Are the 7 other squad members behind? Where's the squad?
When I found out about it, sir, I decided to take it off them and hide it so that no one would ever know. I don't know where the squad is exactly, but I could find out quite quick.
Was this a rogue mission?
This was unfortunate high spirits.
Did you lead it?
I did not. I found out about it later, and I thought I could turn a profit from it. And then I realized exactly what the situation was. I shat myself, and I dealt with it as best I thought I could.
Who led it?
It was a sergeant.
Who?
I don't have the name off the top of my head.
Freely, I want to speak with them not because I want to get them in trouble, but because I want to see how the fuck they actually were able to steal it.
Oh, right. So they were smoking some leaf, right? And essentially, they went for a walk to see all the pretty colors from the bridge. And they were standing on the bridge, kind of looking out over the ocean and that. And then they suddenly found themselves, through no fault of their
Really?
own. Yes.
Who was it?
Who was what?
Who did it?
It was the squad, the sergeant. It was a case of them being in a place and then they see, like, oh, look, there's gear and stuff and everything around there. So why not just, it was an impulsive, silly thing to do. And
How
yes.
were they able to sneak past them?
I don't think they snuck past them exactly. I think it was more they were very busy building their bunkers and all of that type of thing.
It's not like rattlings don't stick out like sore thumbs.
They weren't rattlings.
Oh shit.
Plus, you did recently send through them scouts. I think possibly the...
Shit. Yeah. Nope, that checks out. Okay. Get them back to the base. Quietly. And I hope those are buried somewhere that nobody is going to find them.
They are, sir. Well, it is, sir.
What even was it that you stole? As I'm walking back to the truck.
Oh, it's just a, it's just a bolter.
Just a bolter?
The Starty's pattern bolter.
How the fuck do you... What? I fucking punch him again. My god.
Oh, I didn't even do it, sir.
Also, how the fuck did you bury that then?
Well, I got a shovel and I dug a hole and then I put it in there and then I covered it up. I made mark of the location just in case there were any potential, but in case you wanted to know where it was. And then I reported to you Toot Sweet, sir.
Why do I picture a sign on top of this hole that just says battle bolter and an arrow pointing down?
There's no way you'd be able to drag that yourself.
Well, it's not that big, sir. So it's a bolter. It's not like a massive heavy weapon.
Oh.
It is still a Starty's pattern, so it's a bit bigger
It's
than
big.
usual
Like a weapon.
bolters.
Like a handheld
Yeah, I think
weapon.
Astartes like use two hands to wield it. So like a human might be able to carry it, they would not be able to fire it.
No, they wouldn't be able to fire it.
An ogre.
I'm just gonna... I want to look him over to see if he has any like grease marks or like gunpowder like shaving like bits or anything on him.
There's no sign that he fired a bolter.
No, or carried it. Like just because like if you're carrying something that big, you might have some like marks or dents or something in your armor.
Yeah, essentially, he, like, everyone currently is fairly dusty and miskempt and whatnot, so, just purely because of the traveling and the setting up and everything like that. Best I could say is it looks like essentially he probably carried a bolter or moved it, or it's definitely dirty from having been digging. So
We can't put it back.
well, if we get caught putting it back, it's almost as bad as stealing it in the first place.
All right.
My thoughts were we just ignore it and hope it goes away.
Can we use it for parts?
I have no idea. But I would probably say that if we dismantled an Astartes bolter, and he like looks around just for a second to be like, wait, shit, there's one behind me. And then he's like, if we dismantled an Astartes bolter, that might be worse than if we just had it accidentally because it wandered into our camp.
Wandered in. Just grew legs and walked in here.
Get back to the base, please.
Aye, aye, sir. Immediately, sir.
And send those 7 over to me if they're still here.
Aye, aye, sir.
By the way, Primer told everyone that he's number 1 on the numbers and the tags and whatnot. So we're all going to die, most likely. Yeah, I'm just gonna drive off.
It's like standing there, like trying to think of something to say, and you just like hit the top of the cab, and it's like.
Fucking ridiculous. Oh no. Don't you love the 12th?
Bolter. Like there's now a Crimson Fist Space Marine who's like, where is my bolter? Brother, have you seen my bolter? Perhaps the orcs took it.
I really hope they don't have any kind of tracking mechanism on those bolters because big yikes.
I mean, it's probably like 2,000 years old and like has a rich and tapestry history and
It probably fought in the
doesn't it have
horse.
like a machine spirit and everything. Like
it may well have a machine spirit. It will have like slain great, powerful enemies, the likes of which we couldn't dream of fighting, and
yeah,
and now
and now it's been
buried alive.
Buried, yeah.
There's a distinct possibility it fought in the Horus Heresy. You know, who knows?
Like it was probably
honestly,
like looked after by a team of servitors and maybe like a tech priest who were like would apply oils and like
it was stolen by a bunch of degenerates.
Yeah. Listen, there's a way you can trick them, right? Somehow they consume the leaf.
Stuck on it.
And you convince them that they lost it and buried it. Yeah, you use the leaf to your advantage, Lancaster.
I am not touching this any more than it's already been dealt with. That is nope. Fuck's sake.
Oh god.
So,
oh my god.
As we all ruminate on the fact that our lovely Commander Lancaster and also Vandy herself did not wonder whether any of her troops would steal from the Space Marines, let's head to a break.
All right, we'll go on a break for around about 8 minutes, and you can go grab a snack and all that kind of thing. We'll be back for the second half, the final half of the final episode of the second season of The Last Ditch. Back in a bit.
Will we survive?
Hello, welcome back to The Last Ditch Season 2, Episode 25, which is the finale. And now we're into Part 2. Also, everyone kept complaining that I didn't paint the Land Raider, which is massive and would take forever, so I'm going to show you the actual 2 things I fully painted. They are Space Marines.
Nice.
Are those Blood Angels?
I just was like, I like red and gold, so I'm doing red and gold. So I don't know if it is Blood Angels or not. Are they red and gold? I know they're red.
Well, Blood Angels, I think, are red and black, I believe.
I realized I don't have autofocus on, so it isn't going to focus on them. But yeah, these are the 2 that
You have
I
to put your
actually
hand
painted.
behind it.
No, autofocus is off, but I can probably...
The red and gold is actually the Red Templars. They're actually the same as the Crimson Fists. They're a chapter based based off the Imperial Fists. So.
Okay, this should work now. There it is.
Yep, they can see it.
I don't like red and gold because that's USC's colors.
This is the one that I think I'm proudest of. And then the other one.
They want a bed painting stream now. Look what you've done.
I've literally painted 2.5 models in my life. That's what I've done.
You were saying you weren't good. Those look great.
Well, yeah, because I spent like a day on each.
Yeah, that's what happens. It's a very therapeutic.
I also have
Yeah.
this one that looks awesome from the
Yeah.
back, but I never finished the front.
Is that Terminator?
It is Terminator. It's Marnius Calgar.
Oh, okay. Like you were brave enough to leave his head off and unfinished?
I mean, his head is on. It's just a mess of splashes of red paint and otherwise just metal.
Isn't Marnius Calgar a Space Marine?
Yeah, that's what he is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's like the boss guy of the. I think it's the Ultramarines, but I painted him red anyway. So.
Oh, sorry. I meant Ultramarines. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Is he an Ultramarine?
Yeah, no, I just painted him red because I'm like, I don't care.
Well, welcome to the Red Templars.
His name's Carnius Malgar, and he's the chapter master of my thing.
Oh, fair enough.
I deployed him once I deployed him once in the Land Raider, and then the guy I was playing, I think, Eldar, and he just blew up the Land Raider and killed him. I was like, well, that was
Frick. Was that a grav weapon?
Probably, I don't know.
Friggin' Eldar in there.
Eldar.
goddamn Eldar every time.
I mean, they're here.
They were. They've stepped out for a while
Yeah,
until
yeah, there's
Like,
as
oh, we'll just
everything
recede
goes to
back into the
absolute
tree.
hell,
Watch.
they're here like, my work here is done. It's like, but you
We'll
only
be-
made it worse, and he just steps through the webway.
We'll be back in 1,000 years when you've cleared all this up, and we'll take the planet back. It's cool.
Oh, dear.
I think the worst part about this, like from that meta perspective, is you're not even taking ownership or defending the planet that they want. This is just the side effect of the planet they want. You're on a completely different planet. Why?
But someone pointed out that there's even more layers of absurdity because the assumption is the Eldar caused the original rebellion on Katik, which then, I can't remember exactly how it was, but someone realized that the Eldar had caused the Nids to show up and as well as the Orcs, and actually they were responsible for literally all the problems, and if they'd done nothing, it would have been fine.
That is
Probably.
100% true. Essentially the Eldar causing the rebellion caused your regiments to be moved after the rebellion for R&R on Draco Mal, which
Look,
resulted
he knew
in
the whole time. Your staff member. He knew
Yeah.
the whole time.
it resulted in the wake up of the Tyranids on the planet of Draco Mal.
Oh, and then they drew in the
Which
Tyranids that then
drew in the
attacked their
Tyranids.
home. That they did the rebellion to draw the Orcs to fight the Tyranids that wouldn't have shown up unless they'd done that in the first place.
Essentially the vision prophecy that the Eldar were following was one that caused the event to happen in the first place.
God damn it.
Now there is only war.
All as it should be.
There was only ditches. Last ditches.
Yeah.
They're all the last ditch now.
We need to ditch the ditch.
But then is that the last ditch, or are we gonna have to dig a
If
new
we ditched
one?
it, it would be the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we dug another one.
We could do it, yeah.
Or we built a ditch
There's a
within
lot of
the ditch.
shovels.
That was the ditch's ditch.
I think in the end,
My head
all the
hurts.
ditches you dig are the last ditch until you dig the next one, and then it stops being the last ditch. But now the one you're digging is the last ditch. So you're always digging the last ditch.
So far.
There's some kind of like war proverb in there somewhere. Like every ditch is your last one, or dig every ditch like it's your last one, or something.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's got to be like a
That's a
Dig your ditch like
very
it'll be buried in it.
1-4 thing.
1-4 thing.
Dig every ditch like it's your last ditch.
Yeah, because
Make
if
sure
you
it's your
screw it up,
body.
it will be.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all 6 feet deep? Are your ditches all 6 feet deep?
Probably.
Might need to go to 7 for the iron bricks.
God.
Maybe 8 if you include the reliquary.
Mm.
Yeah, you've got iron brig designated trenches.
It's like
Probably. Or we have to crouch. All of us have to crouch because we're just ginormous.
dig a trench
Mhm.
for yourself and then add an extra foot. Just like
At the end of the trenches, there's a little post with a bit of wood on it that says you must be this short to enter.
I
The
mean,
12th are like,
12th would be
yeah!
fine. 12th are like, hell yeah, all right, we're good. But doesn't
Yeah,
We
matter
can
what
ride
ditch.
all the rides.
the 12th has the most height like variation
Differentiation.
of all the
Yeah.
regiments.
I want there
Um,
to be an RP from the audience of the 12th going to an amusement park.
And all the
Aw.
rattlings being like are on the kid rides. They're on like the
Yeah.
tiny roller coaster that just like
oh yeah.
does like a
Like,
figure eight.
whee!
little cupcakes that are spinning around.
Oh my god.
They're just
Bumper
on the
cars.
they're just
And
on
they-
the teacups.
They look at the big roller coaster and say, "You're ugly."
Like, only ugly people ride those rides. We're so cool. We're just gonna ride the little ones. Like,
God, yeah, no, on the shore, in like a fairground ride like that, it would be all of the smaller designated things are like the cool rides that you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh yeah,
You probably
if
have
it's, if it's
some
a
rides that
shore
are, like-
theme park, then it's got like rides that only ratlings can do.
Yeah.
It's they're
Mm.
rides that you have to be this short to ride.
Yeah. No, it's like yeah,
Or else
like
you're gonna get your head cut off,
if
like-
one of you crazy tall people goes in it, you're gonna get beheaded or something. It's too dangerous.
Exactly.
Or you just don't fit in the car. Like it's hard to fit on airplanes.
Some of them, it might be you must be this high to ride instead of this tall. You know.
So, is there like a designated leaf roller right next to it, or?
Oh yeah.
Just a giant
you know,
hookah.
it's absolutely like you just take a giant hit before you go in, and it's like one of those crazy spinning rooms.
Wait,
It's just
has the
massive
leaf been,
thong.
has the leaf been smuggled back already to the shore?
Oh,
And
sure.
it's
I'm
like
willing to bet probably, yeah.
I think that should
Especially,
be a
you
roll.
know,
There should be a roll.
Freely's been around, of course.
yeah, I mean,
That is a
Presumably,
good
like
point.
injured troopers ultimately filter back to the shore, and like they'll absolutely, like they'll have like a prosthetic leg, and when they get home, they like pull it off and tip it out, and the entire thing was hollow and full of leaf.
yep.
the,
Yep.
Dang.
the shore
Actually,
is
that's brilliant,
skills.
yeah.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Now you're thinking like a 12th, like.
the shore is in a
Mhm.
trade agreement with the Mechanicus to trade
Yo.
technology for leaf. Oh,
Easy mode.
Commissar would have a field day on the shore.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Commissar would probably be forced to get high.
would probably go missing in the
Be
first.
forced to get high.
Apparently,
I was gonna punish them, but then I got high.
Apparently, I stole the drug
Yeah.
smuggling thing from Red Heat. I don't even know what Red Heat is. Is it a movie? That sounds like a movie.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Heat.
I don't know what.
It sounds like a after exercise like muscle relaxant or something.
It does.
Mm.
Red Heat, available in
Yeah.
stores now. Yeah, one of the talking about commissars and stuff is like there's a there's a thing with the Katachan jungle fighters, where essentially any commissars who get assigned to the Katachans quite often go missing and end up like dead in the jungle somewhere with a knife in their back because they just weren't they essentially pissed off the jungle fighters of Katachan.
Like tried to do commissar things.
Or they weren't strict enough, you know, like with the 12th, I imagine like any commissars assigned to the 12th either become native or just end up missing quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of like gauge that though, because you never know what they're like, because the 12th are so volatile in how they deal with things. You don't actually know if they're gonna get punished or if they're gonna, you know, get off scot-free, and or if they're gonna get something like a benefit because of it, right? Like
it depends on who is leading at the time.
Lancaster's done a good job of keeping the balance of the
attempted to.
Allowing them to get away with stuff that like Rickenbacker would be like, you're gonna get like 20 million slashings for.
Probably be buried in steel.
Yeah.
You're definitely dying in steel for that.
Here's a diving board, here's a vat of molten steel, in you go.
Is the threat like, you're gonna be my next bracer?
Oh my god.
You steal. Ooh, I like that.
Turns out Rickenbacker's like HQ house thing is literally made of people who are hand soloed out in the walls, just like
yo. That's so creepy, and also that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Rickenbacker's entire armor is insubordinate.
If you've gotten anything with metal or steel from the Iron Briggs, it probably was made with people. Because they just melt everything. Because you like are part of your armor. Like they just like melt. You just get.
I mean, we have iron in our blood.
It is. Yeah. No. It's actually a relatively good idea. Like there was a thing where people found like some really old iron swords that like were kind of made of like proto steel, and it was because they were forged from I think people's blood was involved in the forging, and it's got carbon in it. Or they they burned their enemies and then put the ashes in the swords, and then it was like it's carbon, so it makes steel. And they're like, these swords are better. It's magic. They got the souls of my enemies in them.
Let's do more.
And and they were just better swords before people worked steel out.
I'm pretty sure if the 12th got anything from
You stole a whole crate of my stuff.
Yeah, but we didn't know there was people in it.
Well, there probably was.
Know. I mean, it's like Soylent Green, but it's like it's.
You guys thought you were stealing stuff from Tyler's crew, but you were actually stealing my stuff. Which was pretty funny.
To be fair, I mean, everyone gets stuff stolen from the 12th, so you know, it's really just.
I think I have had the least stuff stolen though.
At all.
Well, it's possible.
I don't know. It stole your facade of not eating delicious food.
Well,
she knows
that was broken. I broke that shield wall. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, she knows I ate something.
I'm imagining that the news goes round the 12th that there's people in Iron Brig steel, and then like the next day there's just piles of Iron Brig steel just in the middle of fields, like on the side of roads. It's just, how did that get there? I don't know what happened.
Burning ceremony where
or maybe they buried them. Like...
As a note, I'm just gonna say right now, we're gonna get to the after show. And everyone's gonna have nothing to say.
Yeah, that's true. We should go. This is the mid show.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, getting back to the war. We've had we'll come to Primer in a second. I imagine he will probably Primer and Rickenbacker especially will want to basically set up a force to go and deal with the Tyranids and orcs in that little pocket on the mouth. Most likely, it'll basically come down to what you want to do, but my guess would be you want to assign one force to each and do it that way, but it's very possible you want to like combined force to hit them both at the same time. I don't know. For now, Rickenbacker and Lime have...
I want to make one more point, because
Okay,
chat brought up a good point. Lancaster, your people will eat other people? Like, you literally eat the legs of other people.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
But you don't want to steal my steel that's made
true.
from with people.
So technically speaking, when you eat someone's leg, you're not eating people. You are merely surviving in a situation where you have no food aside from that. It's only if you eat the entire person, if you eaten someone. Military. No. This is
Andy,
military.
you're muted.
This is military rules.
It's not cannibalism if it's just a leg.
It's not cannibalism.
Like,
Yes,
if
it
you
is!
only eat a leg.
It's
It's not.
no.
Okay,
If
sorry.
you even eat the tip of a
No.
finger, it's cannibalism.
You guys don't understand military rule. Like the military rule is it's not cannibalism if you eat part of a person.
I mean, well, if you really want to get into it, I'd say it is cannibalism, but there are isolated situations, like if you're dying and the leg was already dead, where cannibalism is okay.
Okay, what about this, right? If you both cut off your leg and swap legs and then eat each other's legs, is that cannibalism? Under
Yeah,
military rules? Probably not.
It's cannibalism. It's just with consent.
Well,
And consent is the main issue when it comes to
Let's add
cannibalism.
consensual cannibalism to our after show discussion. But I just wanted to make that point because someone else brought it up, and I was like, that's a good point. All right. Rickenbacker and Lime, yes, we're going across the bridge.
yes, you are.
All my troops are preparing to go across the bridge because we are planning to fight and battle in Breaker's Yard.
Oh, you're going across the bridge?
I thought we were trying to talk to
Yeah,
them.
we want to probably go across the bridge and present ourselves at, like, the entrance way, whatever that is, to the Crimson Fist compound, fortress, whatever it's become at this point.
It's probably something you could discuss after you get back from the space raid. So yeah, we'll see where they go from there. So essentially, there's a fairly active like it's like a hive of activity, like people running about. There's a lot of like static defenses and bunkers kind of being set up, and they're essentially like in a half circle as a bridgehead on the bridge. Pretty big, like, but it's also I can give this to you, Lime, because you did a roll earlier, and also this is your area of expertise. It's very clearly like heavier built up towards facing the south, and that's where the focus is. It's good all around, but it's very clear that they're expecting attacks from a certain direction and possibly another direction. So there are like obviously regular humans from a perspective of outside of your character knowledge, essentially failed Marines who don't die, or ones who become scouts and then end up not really cutting the mustard, or just regular humans from recruitment worlds and stuff, have a tendency to become like servants and helpers and that type of thing. And as you kind of walk up, that is the person, one of the people who basically approaches you and says, hello, is there... We've had multiple detachments going through. I assume you're from...
We are the...
Is this person higher rank than us? Out of character.
You don't know what rank he is.
We can't tell by looking at
There's no kind of like designated insignia or anything.
Okay.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Lime of the 1-4 Assault Pioneers. I'll turn to Rickenbacker.
Lieutenant Colonel Filberta Rickenbacker of the Iron Brigade.
We are here to present ourselves in whatever manner is needed to assist in the work of the Crimson Fist. Anything that they wish for us to do, we will do our best to achieve. We have information, and of course we have our forces.
Okay, will you be requiring the attention of the captain, or would you like to talk to someone just to see if there's anything needed?
It is up to the judgment of the captain and anyone else as to whether we will be useful.
Sorry, it would be lieutenant. I must. It's lieutenant or captain. But aside from that, yes.
It is up to the lieutenant and anyone else in your forces as to whether we can be of use. We wanted to make sure that the offer was extended, and if necessary, give means to contact us.
Very well. I will go and see. And if you just wait there and be careful, then I'll see what the lieutenant says. And he kind of like spins around and hurries off into the...
I'll kind of give a little bow and let him go on his way. Aquila, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, that didn't go too badly, but that's a pretty low ranking one. It sounds like he's going to get someone a little bit more important.
He wasn't wearing like any power armor or anything, so most likely he wasn't a space marine or even a scout. He was like a random helper, human, regular.
I'll turn to Rickenbacker and say, like, I can't be exactly sure how this is going to work, but I think we should be careful about volunteering anything, and more so just do as we're told and answer as we're asked, just in case.
Very well. That is easy for me to do. Although I will say that my troops are wanting to get on the battlefield.
If they say we're not on the battlefield, then we're not, but presumably they'll have something for us.
After a little time passes, it's probably longer than you'd expect, but not too long that you are starting to wonder whether anyone's going to turn up.
Lime's definitely broken out the good recaf, like the best stuff he has, and is just like all of it. I need it.
Rickenbacker
Of course,
has
just making
like
me more stressed. Where's my mug?
He's like little nervous. Only the best will do.
Rickenbacker's like
calm the nerves.
polishing her shield.
As I said, after a little time, a fully power armored space marine with the helmet not on is followed, and kind of like, so a space marine in full armor is kind of like 8 or 9 foot tall in general, very big, very imposing. And to give you a vague idea of what it's like, the majority of people in the Imperium will never see a space marine. It's a super rare thing, and they're kind of very often, even in Imperial Guard and etc., they're just like stuff of legend. You know, it's like my friend once saw a space marine and didn't die. It was awesome. You know, it'd be the current day equivalent of like, I don't know, running into Kanye West randomly. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, what are you doing in this battle?
Except it's Kanye West, and he has the authority to kill you if he feels like it.
Possibly, or he just has the self-sanctimonious rights in his own head, and no one's gonna argue with him, because you don't argue with a tank in person form.
When he comes down the corner, it's like, by the Emperor, it's actually one of them.
Rickenbacker's like, hey, how you doing?
Additionally, in the vein of that, there's two other space marines with him. I'm going to give you this because I think
it's 3 of them.
I think you'd be able to discern this. One of them is in what is clearly scout garb. It's a bit lighter armored. It's a bit less protective, and generally scouts are scout marines become scout marines before they become full blown space marines, and then they kind of go on from there. Additionally, there is also a one other Space Marine who looks similar to the one who's kind of leading the walk, who is also currently not wearing helmets, and there's not too much. I don't think you'd be able to recognize rank, just purely because it's not something you would have encountered before. Space Marines and like the differences in ranks and type of thing. So their ranks are there, but you don't know what it means. And he, the one at the front, walks forward.
I think also as they approach, Lime also, just to demonstrate the situation, he dumps out the recap and chucks it like under the truck that they're by.
Rickenbacker's just watching as you're like freaking out, and is like puts her like giant hand on your shoulder and says, "It is going to be all right, Lime." And we'll stand up and kind of sign of the Quilla.
Lime probably kneels. He doesn't know how, like, what you're supposed to do. He's gonna put a kneel in there, see how that goes.
Okay. It's not the worst idea, honestly. As
it kind of looks like she's like putting her hand on his shoulder, and he's like kneeling down.
Yes, this is my pet.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. That's so funny.
So as they walk up, they stop like a little bit earlier than you'd expect if you're having a conversation, but it does mean that you it does mean that you don't have to like kind of crane your neck. If you were standing next to each other, even you, Rickenbacker, would be looking up in kind of like a weird and
once I have to look up. No, she doesn't say that.
and when they stop, the one in the middle kind of looks at you, Rickenbacker, looks at the kneeling Lime and says, "Greetings, you may rise."
Lime will stand up. He won't say anything.
Rickenbacker watches and then looks back.
Blessings of the Emperor. I am Lieutenant Erasmus of the Crimson Fists. I am leading this outfit. Along with me is Scout Sergeant Baradius Kimura and Veteran Sergeant Sevian Ismian. I have been informed that you are Lieutenant Colonels in the... Sorry, I was about to say Adeptus Astartes, and that made my brain stutter.
Adeptus Militarum it is these days, right?
Astra Militarum.
Astra Militarum, that's the one, Astra Militarum.
Of the Astra Militarum of your respective regiments, I believe you are in charge.
Yes, sir. We are honored by your presence.
Roll before you say that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you.
Or should I say yes, my lord? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was. It might be too far. I don't know. This probably isn't it too far, is there?
So if you roll me a common law Imperium, we'll just have it be flat.
I don't have common law Imperium.
Imperial Guard.
Imperial Guard will work too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 10.
I'll allow it.
2.1.
What just happened? Oh.
So.
Minus 5.4.
Oh Christ! You rolled an 88.
It's not a crit fail. It's okay. You're still allowed to act with common sense, so you should be fine. So yeah, essentially, for you, Lime, it's very possible that my Lord or Lord Space Marine are effectively decent ways to address, especially a lieutenant in the Space Marines.
Okay.
However, like it could dictate the interactions you have going forward. So it's important to note that you do have his rank, and you have his name. So it's down to you how you want to initiate this conversation. Kind of start the conversation. It's possible if you don't call him Lord or Lord Space Marine, or, you know, kind of like be very deferential, he'll get pissed off and kill everyone. It's also very possible that that will dictate how he interacts with you.
Lime's not here to make any power moves. He's gonna say Lord. It's like, we are honored by your presence, my lords.
I believe you have offered your assistance in this current campaign.
Yes, wherever possible, in terms of information and men.
Information would be greatly received if you have compiled reports on the...
Let me just roll up this car with what?
on the situation before we arrived here.
We have those prepared.
Very well. If you bring them here, they will be received by some of our servants, and we will go over them.
I'll kind of like turn and kind of nod in the direction of Garnet. I'm like, I don't turn my body, just my head, because I don't know if turning my back on a Space Marine will get me killed, and I don't want to find out.
Garnet's like a little ways back from you, closer to the truck, and like as you turn back and like nod at him, he kind of like gives like a little bit of a terrified nod. You could also tell that he's kind of like fighting the impulse to just run in the other direction. He's kind of like standing there like, oh jeez, oh Lord Emperor, oh no. But the lieutenant carries on with our intention here is not to usurp your command. However, we will need your cooperation whenever there is need for you.
Of course. We will work with you in whatever way you wish.
Very good. Our current intentions are to send scouts out, as I believe yourselves have already done, and see the true makeup of the Xenos threat. Further for that, we will decide whether to break their feeble assaults against our walls, or whether to venture out and crush them underfoot in the open.
I hope that our reports will aid you in getting straight to it.
I have no doubt that your assistance will be helpful. Now, from that going forward, unless you have any requests of assistance that we can give you, I think you can operate autonomously and deal with the problems to our back. We will keep our eye on the front.
To give you a brief assessment, I believe we have the situation on the land on this side of the bridge in hand, and it shouldn't concern you. You'll be able to focus your full efforts on the area around the Hive City.
This is good. And then he turns to who he introduced as Scout Sergeant Baradius Kimura and says, Brother, let's step up our schedule. I want you to head out now with the scouts and see what the enemy forces comprises of, and when they are looking like they will head in our direction. And the scout kind of rips off a. I'm not sure if the Space Marines do the Aquila. We'll go with essentially like stands at attention, and says, "Yes, Lieutenant, I'll head out now," and kind of like trots off. There's a few like kind of they're a little bit more relaxed, if you can call it relaxed. Not really, but essentially. You see a squad of scouts that kind of, as he moves, and with no kind of like word or anything, they just kind of like gather up behind him and kind of stomp. Once we are finished with our this lieutenant carrying on. Once we are finished with our defenses, we might be able to spare some of our tech priests if it is necessary for you. If you find it necessary, they will be able to assist.
We would be happy for the assistance if they are available.
Very well. Once they are finished with our defenses, and once we are able to spare some, I will send a detachment of them over.
Thank you, my lord.
Well then, if there is nothing else, I believe this meeting is finished. I have a lot of work to do, and we must get about our business of crushing the Xenos.
Whatever we can do to help.
There very well may come a time when we are all required to die for the Emperor. Just remember, no life given in the name of the Emperor is given in vain. Farewell. And he just spins on his heel and stomp, stomp, stomp. The other one like pauses for a second and like looks at you. There's no discernible like emotion there, but then turns and moves with him.
When they walk away, Rickenbacker immediately says to Lime, I like them.
Oh, we're still alive. Thank the Emperor.
You survived a meeting with a space marine. Well done.
I think that went relatively well.
Lime's like scared shitless. Rickenbacker's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, going off that, going off the roles for like knowledge of space marines and stuff. Rickenbacker probably isn't very clear on the whole,
No. This whole time I've rolled poorly on every roll that involves them. She's just like, big dudes, lots of armor, weapons, want to fight. I'm into it.
Yeah. As a little meta sidebar, the Crimson Fists are very, very by the book. They're probably one of the chapters who stick closest to the Codex Astartes. So it's lucky.
Rickenbacker can appreciate that.
Yeah, like if it had been like the Black Templars, there's a few other like chapters who are, any of the Blood Angel chapters, like they have issues. There's a very significant danger within interacting with some of them. So it could have been worse.
We could have died there. There's like various reasons we could have died.
The Black Templars would be like, your existence offends me, and then just like stomped on you.
Lime fishes his mug back out from under the truck full of reports. And, like,
now what do we do?
Dust it off.
Rickenbacker says, looking.
We leave before the fact that we're still here makes them upset or something.
When do we know when we fight that battle?
They'll send someone, I'm sure.
Essentially, the conversation ended up with do what you want autonomously. It wasn't exactly a dismissal of like you're unimportant, but it's essentially like we're doing our thing. We're not looking to order you around, but we don't think you'll have much effect on the battle.
It seems like they're going to allow us to pass through the gate if we want to and fight Nids if we want to, and we probably should,
Very well.
I don't know if we matter now. They're here, but it might make a difference. Don't say that in front of them, though.
They don't have a massive force.
It's like in reality, like they may well just get wrecked, but you don't say it. Don't tell them that. Oh boy.
Ooh, yeah.
If you tell them that, you won't live to see it.
Rickenbacker will follow Lime and head back. Her troops are already like forming and getting ready to go across the bridge. And if they're going to allow us to go, then we will go. Like we're going to be front line as much as possible. We'll probably roll armor, and we have like mech suits, like dudes in the mech suits. And then the rest of our troops after in the vehicles.
So, question, because as of this moment and point, you haven't dealt with the pockets on the mouth.
Yeah, I think the 21st and the 12th were working on this part down here.
Okay.
Yeah, so my troops are going to go across the bridge and start assisting to push down, or towards the hive, whichever way we're fighting first.
I think that falls down to Rickenbacker as to where you want to send your troops, really. All right. In that case, would you like to essentially have a tactics meeting and figure out who wants to go where and who's taking what responsibilities and et cetera, et cetera.
All right.
I'm into it.
So you get yourselves for the sake of argument, let's say your regiments are mobilizing. Essentially what this means is they're still maintaining their positions over the area, but if at any point you need them to move, they're ready to move. So if you need any additional information about the setup and situation, feel free to ask. For now, let's see what you decide to do.
So when we all gather for the meeting, Lime's still gonna be like drinking the best quality recap, like and shaking. So we met the lieutenant of the Crimson Fists, and we're still alive. So it went pretty well.
I like them, Rickenbacker says.
I'll drop
that explains everything.
I'll drop the names in the chat for you.
I wrote them down, but I probably spelled them all terribly wrong.
Yeah, I probably would have noticed that Lime is a little shaky, and I would have just been like, yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. You know what we can do is we can get you something nice to eat, just before battle or something.
That would be nice.
I'll get Flat Haggerty to make something up, I think. Make sure that, because like
getting a cooking
poor
roll?
Lime. I mean, I figured because poor Lime is like all bent out of shape here, and recaf will do enough, but
a good cooked meal, goes right to the
heart.
Of course, sir. Do you want me to cook something up? Maybe I could fry up a leg of something for the lieutenant commander.
Oh, that'd be real nice, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, something traditional, like a
I'll
leg
see
soup. Yeah.
Leg soup. Yeah, I'll see what I can find.
Wonderful.
Can we get the roll? I want to see a roll.
I can do a roll, or I don't know if I have Flat Haggerty's. I don't have
bonuses.
A page for him, so I could just roll my own.
With maybe a bonus,
or I could just like add some ticks into cooking for that specifically.
So I know Bentham could probably see this, but there's Flat Haggerty.
I think you had like a plus 50 or something when you rolled cooking.
Vandy, if you go down and look into the NPCs, it's near the bottom of the
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flat Haggerty's there. I had a feeling like you'd want to be rolling for him, so I did roll up a
Sure.
We'll have to share his character sheet.
Bentham will be able to tell you guys there's a lot of stuff on this Roll20 at this point.
There are so many character sheets, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because like
I think
there's
Haggerty was
characters
like
and
a
backup
copy
characters
of me.
for every guest. There's all the enemies we've ever fought, various other characters. It's crazy.
We should have a lot of goodies.
It's gonna take me weeks just to put it all into a Patreon poster 7.
We still have troopers, Sephon Reyes, Sasha Davenport,
Wow.
Kate Bofin, Snyder Panguit.
Bofin!
Takes me back.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was first episode when you met the Lictor and almost all died.
That's true.
Yep.
That was
okay.
cool.
So just a straight roll for him.
Yeah.
Check actually. How long ago was that?
1.2,
1.2 degrees of
Some
success.
good leg
yeah.
soup. Good old leg soup.
And he just kind of brings in this cauldron that's bubbling and there's little bits and pieces, possibly maybe potatoes, who knows, like bob to the surface, and it's really thick. So like if you were to like stir it with a spoon, it would like stick to the spoon. It is.
Yeah.
It's like a big. It's like a
it's
like
the
a
type,
stew.
Perfect.
It's the type
Like a
of,
thick stew.
Just like
it's
I
the
would
type-
like my gravy.
Yes, it is the type of thing your granny would say would put hairs on your chest. That's the type of meal this is. It says,
They're hearty.
here you go, commanders. Big batch of soup for you all to
Rickenbacker will not eat
as
that.
you like.
That's real kind. Thank you, Flat Haggerty. You're dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
I'll grab a bowl and serve some up and serve a big helping of it over to Lime. And I'll leave I'm not even going to serve the other two. Like, I might, like, try to hand a bowl over to Primer, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to take it.
Nope.
I'm just like, rom, 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 rom.
He's
So
tempted because he's eaten the good stuff before, but I think
Rickenbacker
not
has
in
never
the mood.
publicly
I'll
eaten
leave-
anything.
I'll leave the bowl near him, but not anywhere that it's going to spill. So I'll leave it near him. I'll serve up a smaller bowl for Rickenbacker, and then I'll serve up a bigger bowl for myself.
Yeah. Essentially it is it's the thicker type of soup that could almost be called like not
Stew?
solid, but yeah, stew, etc. But it's very rich, and it's a mix of like just strong flavors that you can't quite place, and a fairly salty kind of like, but it is very warming, and it's actually tastes really nice.
So wasn't leg soup the first food we ever came up with? Because that was like an episode 1, season 1 thing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
The
very
callback.
I just went and looked it up. It's been 13 months and 3 days since episode 1.
Yeah.
Wow. Over a
Yeah,
year.
Episode 1 was a long time ago.
We ran through the forest jungle and then found a village.
Got murdered.
Mhm.
Hey, you survived.
textbook was there.
I did
He
survive.
died.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very close, and I did multiple times, which was literally just the luck of the dice where you didn't die. But yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, tactics.
once that's done, I'll simply look over the map like in front of us, and I'll say, "All right, so I'm happy to take out or look at the orcs or the Tyranids in our little area and try to wipe them out, so we have a bit more space and no issues on the home front."
I think we should throw everything we can at it. Just get it dealt with.
21st
all at
will
once.
be on it. I'll be there personally.
I would like to
don't-
move forward across the bridge. I want to
I-
be at the forefront of that. We can provide some intel before you all arrive as well.
I wonder if it's possible, Rickenbacker, to have a group, like a shield wall, to try and push some of those the orcs into the Tyranids, or vice versa, advancing until they have to retreat and go into their enemy.
We could do a sort of pincer. We push the orcs from the north. We try and cut round the south side of the Tyranids, and we just force them into each other.
That's what I'm thinking. What do you think, Primer?
Sounds like what I thought of.
Oh,
Just makes a lot of sense. Probably how we should deal
I
with all
just
the
hadn't
fights.
spoken it. You spoke it before me, which is fine.
well, great minds, I guess. That's great. Then
Very well. How many troops do you need for shield wall?
do we have intel on how many people, how many orcs and how many Tyranids are there in the makeup of their?
In the mouth.
Yeah.
It would be a rough guesstimate. It would probably, what I can probably say is, like, if you want to move in, and you know what, in this instance,
Wait. I am going to get my rocket launcher back from No Quarter.
Okay. And basically, you walk over and be like, "I won, mine." Just wander off. So you have your rocket launch back, and essentially, would you like to roll for like tactical insight on this, or would you kind of just like to go off your own gumption and decisions? Because
why not?
Makes sense to put
Probably
chuck
wanna
some dice
roll.
into it.
Yeah.
What are we rolling? War and Tactical Imperialis?
Yes, please. It'll also allow me to kind of give you a kind of thoughts
I
on
bodged
how
the
many
whole
men you
thing
might
there.
need. Oof.
Minus
Ooh.
3.4, minus 2.8. I see a super crit fail from
There is the super crit fail.
from Primer on War.
Whoa! I'm re-rolling that.
Ow, my ears.
Yeah. I was about to say, don't forget you do have rerolls, so
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Was I too loud?
Yeah,
blew
you
out
like
a second.
It just
little.
peaked.
I just to be clear for the MP3 listeners, we failed every single roll. 8 dice rolls, they were
No.
all fails.
Carissa
Yep. Every single one.
Lancaster
That's a cooking roll.
succeeded cook.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna re-roll my Tactica Imperialis though.
There we go.
I could maybe.
That's better.
Ooh,
1.3.
I'll re-roll my war.
I'm just gonna save it. Other people are rolling better than me.
I got my war. I went from the super crit to a success of 3.7.
Nice.
Okay.
I rolled so bad.
Any more rerolls wanted? Are we happy with this?
I'm gonna let other people be smarter about this than me.
Okay. In that case, Primer. In terms of the fight ahead, one thing to think about and one thing to keep in mind is numbers. Essentially, in war, you have your supplies, you have your weapons and ammunition, and you have your manpower. The only thing that isn't at all renewable in this situation is essentially manpower. So you, going forward, you want to be cautious and careful about losing your manpower because you can't replenish it. There's no more reinforcements coming. You're essentially cut off until hopefully an Imperial Navy detachment, or even maybe more Space Marines turn up and like destroy all the Tyranid crap that's flying about the place. So going off Lancaster's Tactica Imperialis, one possible way to essentially deal with this would be to maintain the cordon over both the Orcs and the Tyranids, and make the use of artillery and heavier tanks and things at your disposal to essentially bombard the enemy until they're much weaker, and then move in to crush. Or going off your previous like thoughts, one possibility is like the Orcs just like to fight. They'll fight whoever comes at them. You have more experience with Tyranids. It's not something most Imperial Guard regiments can say. But they have a tendency to act off instinct and etc. If you manage to pressure them from like behind, you might be able to push them into exclusively moving towards the Orcs and fighting the Orcs, which will have them kind of like, you know, tear each other up. At the moment, it's essentially like both the Orcs and the Tyranids are kind of like fighting each other and pushing out against you, and you're containing that. So
my thought was to put my Sentinels and Lehman Russes to just completely push the Tyranids towards the Orcs.
Yeah, that's kind of
turn out and battery on that front massively.
I think that's probably I like that idea, because if the Orcs are like the Orcs, there's a bigger force of Orcs there, so we're gonna have to deal with the remaining Orcs anyway. But yeah, we do have more luck with Tyranids currently. So if we just, yeah, I think I like that second idea better that you mentioned. You just push the Tyranids in to the orcs, and the orcs start kind of attacking them from behind, I guess, and then we can, after they start moving into the Tyranids and they've had their numbers kind of decrease a bit, then we push in with the orcs or to the orcs.
Okay. So Havoc, Major Havoc is going towards that side.
Okay, so essentially you want like a holding pattern to the north?
Yeah, Thicket will be up there. Havoc will be at the Tyranids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereby you're basically like holding the orcs there and then like swinging around and pushing the Tyranids towards the orcs. And okay.
Yeah.
With minimal fighting with the orcs because we want them to be like disinterested in us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. One. If most likely the thought is once the Tyranids start really pushing, the orcs will switch their attention, and you can basically hold where you are and let the fight happen, and then react from there.
Yep.
Okay. In terms of numbers, you don't have that much else to occupy you, so you can use as much as little as you want. The forces, like I would say, a good. Let me just double check the because they will have lost. I'd say minimum you'd want each would be a good 10,000 each minimum.
50,000 each.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where there's no reason not to like use a car to run over a fly, basically.
50,000
I was planning
each.
to send 75,000, 25 at each side, and then the rest of my troops are going across the bridge.
Okay. I can focus my efforts not on like either of the pushes towards the Nids or the orcs, but like making sure it doesn't spill out sideways instead of going into each other.
Yeah,
like that's like an earth moving sort of thing. Is like we could build a wall. We could make a physical like wall that they push up against if they try to go not into each other. And I can just like.
Okay.
That's what I was kind of illustrating here. Is some kind of defensive line that just repels them. Isn't designed to like kill them or like, you know, be too interesting because the orcs would love it. It's gotta be a boring, annoying to cross big wall so that they push up against it and go a different way instead.
Okay. Additionally, it is worth bringing up and discussing what you want to do with the stomach and kind of like the remaining kind of islands and areas around everything. If you want to establish kind of fortresses on the islands, if you want to ignore them, if you want to, I don't know, you could send people over there and just trap the crap out of it. But
I was gonna say if the 1-4 can really make sure we're connected over here to get supplies from our placements, that's what I would think.
Yeah,
I think I can do that. Probably what this will end up being is the 1-4 mostly stay around here and just make this work for everybody else.
Yeah. You essentially, over in the stomach now, you have minimal orc forces. The majority of them are like wiped out. The orc forces are like small groups of basically, they're not feral because that's something slightly different, but they're essentially leaderless and just kind of running around. Occasionally they'll run into some of your troops and your troops will, you know, have a fight with them. But it's more like tiny squad skirmishing. And it's the equivalent of like having bandits there, I guess, you know. It's not an organized force anymore. So, you know, like, yeah, if you want to send over someone with a force to kind of like set up the area in case of invasion or anything like that, it's very unlikely, especially with the Tyranids as they stand, that any significant force would get over there, even island hopping. But you've been in situations where suddenly the Tyranids have a shit ton of like flyers and that type of thing. Could be a problem in the future. Also, you've had some experience with orcs at this point, and you do have an orc expert with you. who would tell you that even though the orcs technically don't have any flyers, they could cobble something together and end up like, you know.
I own death copters. Let's see if I think they're right here. This is my chance now that we've got Space Marines versus Orcs. I can break out all my random unpainted crap.
Yeah, there's a distinct possibility that the Orcs could like build some ridiculous airship and then end up like hovering over the stomach and just like throwing Orcs out to splat onto the land.
The propellers even spin.
Oh.
Neat.
Nice.
And they've also got, sharp bits on them, because of course they do.
Yeah, in case something falls through it, you have to be able to slice it up.
Yeah.
No.
Or, just
or you just drive by into flying creatures and slice them up.
Or just, like, crash into the enemy with your thing. There's a...
Hey, look, we've done it before as the Iron Brigade. That's how we destroyed a whole planet. So, totally works.
So majority of forces are headed to the pockets to essentially like deal with that problem before it's a proper problem, and then the rest are headed. I think it's the Iron Briggs. You want to head with the significant force like past the Crimson Fist fortifications.
Yeah.
Okay.
Primarily just to kind of like set up defenses over there. Assess the battlefield from there.
Okay. So it depends essentially what the plan is, like where you want to go and what you want to do. In terms of recon, you do have the 12th out there like reporting back.
Yeah, we have all the info there. Do we have any info that we've gleaned so far? Like, I don't know how much time would have passed to be able to.
Given the scope of setting up and like mobilizing and get everything organized, it's not going to happen instantly, probably over a couple of days. So I can give you some basic intel. I need to go look at what the recon have done with their regard rolls.
Sure.
But it essentially okay. Okay. So yeah, the Tyranids and Orcs down to the south, from what your recon has reported back, the majority of fighting appears to be like small pockets of Orcs just enjoying themselves. You don't have any info on the you don't have any info on this one. I'll shift click it so that it takes you. So the one to the far west, you have no info on. You don't know what's happening there. It's a distinct possibility that the Orc lines and the Tyranid lines there have crossed.
Okay.
But it essentially, I'll just do a very quick. Yeah, that will work. Essentially, the Tyranid forces here have mostly, again, it's a lot like the Orcs on the stomach, small pockets, but nothing of a significant force to threaten either you or the Orcs.
Okay.
The Orc numbers seem to be not significantly diminished.
Sure.
I can give you an estimation of their forces. Give me a second. This is the point where I'm like, I should have had that open because there's so many different note bits. So this is, yeah. So at a guess, based on like when they landed, there was somewhere in between like 100 and 200,000 orcs there.
Mm-hmm.
Like just rough guesstimates. Now it is diminished, but not a massive amount. So you know, best guess anyone could give you would be like again, maybe 100,000, maybe 150,000, maybe a bit less than 100,000, but there's no way to know for sure.
Okay. So I'll change this to 100.
You can
to
do text
150,000.
in a.
You can?
There are text boxes.
Yeah, there's
somewhere.
little text.
Oh, there
box.
is. Oh, there we go.
You're not at all sure about the hive. There are signs of fires and combat, but there has been no attempt to get close enough to essentially investigate that.
Okay.
So it's very possible there's still a lot of conflict there, or it's possible that it's mostly been, like any possibility exists. They could have fought them off, and now there's just Imperial citizens there waiting for the orcs to roll over them, or it's possible that the enemy has completely taken over and are just wiping out the last bits of resistance.
I know I was literally just like, I should probably stay in the mouth and the stomach and sort out that stuff, but I really want to send in Joseph Wickham. Because he's agoraphobic and loves urban combat and working in fortifications. I'm like, I could just send in him and like some dudes. Because I'm pretty sure he's just John Wick, and I would like to just unleash John Wick on this hive.
So a possible and maybe valid tactic. You know what? Lime, please roll me a Tactica Imperialis, and
Okay.
This is like kind of going off that thought essentially, as opposed to the initial rolls we did.
I flubbed it 2.3. You know what? We'll put a reroll on that.
Okay.
Could get worse.
Yeah.
Could get better though.
It didn't.
Nice.
4
Way-
degrees of success.
Way
Yeah.
better.
Hell yeah.
Rolled a 10. All right.
So one thing to think about, and a valid basically like operation to put into place and enact, would be essentially Jonathan Wickham, I believe is the
Joseph Wickham, I think it is.
Joseph Wickham, sorry. Is he I wasn't quite that obvious with it. What rank is he?
He is a lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Okay. So yeah, probably the best like strategy or tactic, if this is something you'd like to do, is to essentially assign him specialist strike squads, which he could essentially, you'd have to equip him with proper Vox communicators and make sure that the communication was good, but they could essentially infiltrate the hive and work as individual units under his command to essentially, you're not sending in a huge force. You're essentially sending in a force to hit certain targets and to disrupt the enemy, and to any time possible, basically, set some explosives, blow up a building that falls on a whole horde of whatever's in there. It's a good way to whittle down the enemy forces and that type of thing. So.
That's cool. How many men does he want?
It's more like it's more actually going off that Tactica Imperialis. It's more what you think would be effective.
Okay.
So the temptation would be to send in significant force to do a lot of damage.
But that means they're more likely to get spotted, and then it just becomes a war that they're massively outnumbered in.
Essentially, it depends how much risk you want and how many losses you're willing to take. Your thoughts would be that 100 would be able to do small but possibly significant damage. 500 would be possibly optimal, depending on what you want to get done and how much you're willing to risk. And then up to 1,000 would be like possible to do a lot of damage, and there'd be a lot of operatives working to do a lot of different things. But that gets to the point where there's a significant enemy force, and they may just depending on the situation, they may be able to just like mobilize all their forces and just jump on it instantly.
I think I'll give him 300, and
300?
Just work within his means. Don't push it. Do what he can.
Okay. Would you like to give this an operational name, or?
Oh. I'm not sure what it would be.
I thought of a dumb name, but I regret thinking of it because I'm like, that's a fun, just because of the
Go on.
situation. Well, when you lay waste to a city, what do?
You raise it?
Or sack it?
Oh, you sack it, yeah.
And what was the name of your previous operation in the Hive City?
Oh no.
So it wouldn't be Nutcracker.
Oh no.
It would be Operation Nutsack.
I regret asking.
I think it should be called Sack Attack.
It's probably
We're not
better,
trying to sack the city. That we're infiltrating and like, it's subtle.
I said I
No. Here's a better name. It's Ned Sack.
There you go.
No, I'm not doing it.
What about Operation Sackit Tyria?
I'm not putting none of the operation names are gonna have sack in them. I'm not calling it anything sack.
I think
or
it
sack
should be
anything.
Operation Just Wicket.
There you go.
I need to come up with something fast before they get worse.
Just Wicket.
I do like Operation Nutsack. It's very good.
Thank
Damn
you.
it.
Vandy's on board for the nutsack.
I was thinking like
so-
you could
I
do like
mean-
Operation Hand to Hand or something.
Yep.
Operation Hand. Sorry, no.
Or like backstab.
I didn't complete it, Maggie.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move on
Tyler!
to do Operation Backstab maybe.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Are we the worst?
My
Operation
worst?
Happy
Yes.
Ending.
my brain's going off into many, many examples of things that would be terrible things to call it now. So Operation something, I say nutsack or whatever.
No, not calling it Operation Nutsack.
Contextually, it makes sense, Bentham.
No, it doesn't.
It does, because you
On
called this
various
previous
levels, it doesn't make sense.
It's fine. Operation something.
Operation something. It's 300 troops. Under it was
Joseph Wickham, Lieutenant.
Wickham. So someone mentioned earlier in the chat that I didn't help myself with those Space Marine names. I didn't realize till I said it out. I'd never said their names out loud, and then I said them out loud, and I'm like, oh my god, they all rhyme and stuff. It's really like.
I can see it for Space Marines. It makes sense.
Brother, would you like a name that rhymes with mine?
Brother, have you heard of green eggs and ham?
Oh my lord.
Yes, I have, Sam. I am.
Oh my goodness.
I can imagine like a Space Marine Captain Samayam.
I don't.
Deal
I
with
do
it.
not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Veteran Sergeant Sevian Ismian.
Oh god. What a name.
So yes, we'll leave Bentham thinking about operation name because I feel like he's gonna have trouble there for a moment. Would anyone else like to implement or start something off?
I think I have something. Hold on, I'm just trying to finish writing it. This
Okay.
is oh no, but it's actually no, sorry, it's back on it was to do with the Tyranids, so never mind.
What about Operation Cloak and Dagger? The idea
Sure.
that they're backstabbing the backstabbers. There's lots of stabbing of backs going on and sneaking around. Yeah.
But it's so this operation's in the mind, right? Like it's in the hive there.
Yeah, the idea is going into the hive and then kind of sneaking around, trying to counter the like weird rebellion riot thing that's going on in there. We
What
don't
about
know what it is,
Operation
but, like,
Backdoor?
that is I mean that's the most viable name that any of these has been so far.
I think that's a great idea.
Though actually, the fact that it's in the mind, I didn't think about that. There are lots of fun things you can do with it being in the mind.
Operation Lobotomy.
Not what I was thinking. I was more thinking like afterthought or idea or second thought.
Operation Brain Scan.
I mean, that's not too bad.
Also, just like you do have the heart and the blood before the mind. It really depends where you want to.
Operation Head Thrust.
You know what you call it when you
actually you could do Operation Head Rush.
No,
I like that could work.
could go with like
and isn't
like,
weird.
You could go with like a headbutt type motif. Which
Well, I was thinking because it's the mind and it's also blood. Is like head rush is when you got low blood pressure in your brain when you stand up too fast. And sure, that could be an operation name.
Great name. Love it. Yeah, sign it.
Operation Glug Glug.
What?
What is wrong with you?
What is that? That doesn't relate to anything that's going on.
All I'm saying, Bentham, is that Operation Headbutt wouldn't be terrible, but thinking about it, there are other words for headbutt. I believe one of which is nuts. So technically speaking, seeing as you're trying to sack the city, it could be called Operation Nutsack.
Why are you like this?
Operation Brain Freeze.
That's all right.
Yeah. Brain freeze makes sense.
Brain freeze is okay. That works.
I hate it here. Brain freeze, I think, is a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with brain freeze before
I'm not gonna say.
Brain
go
freeze
any further
/
before anyone has any more ideas.
What were you gonna say, GP?
Don't encourage him.
I don't want to.
I've been really bad since it started off with nutsack. So.
Oh my god.
You were bad before that, Tyler.
No, I was not.
You were.
I mean, you redeemed yourself a bit. Brain freeze is good. It's Operation Brain Freeze.
I have seen both yourself
That was the
and Vandy and Maggie smirking when things have been said in the all through this episode. There has been smirks. There's been smirking and enjoyment of jokes, which
Could be
No, I've
Operation
been covering
Dirty
my
Mind.
mouth. You couldn't possibly have seen
Operation
anything.
Brain Freeze.
Operation Brain Freeze.
I mean, Dirty Mind isn't a bad idea for an operation name either, but we're calling it Brain Freeze.
Dirty Mind. I like that.
Wouldn't be terrible.
Operation Brain Freeze. It is. I feel like that's a mistake. There's clearly better naming things in there.
We're not calling it Nutsack.
I didn't say you had to call it Nutsack.
I'm just checking out the only word channel on Discord right now. You know.
I feel just that we would all benefit greatly from having Lime and yourself in character shouting "Commence Operation Nutsack." I feel like that would give us all a little something. I don't know.
I mean, you missed an opportunity to have a soldier named Private Parts. So
It's true. But everyone's trooper, which is why I guess that never happened.
We
Then
did
it could've
have
been
major
trooper
injury
parts.
though, didn't we, or something?
Major
We did have
havoc.
major injury.
Major injury. It's a good one.
Mhm.
You echoing,
yes,
man?
I have a major havoc.
Yes. It is which, like, apropos of nothing, but that's a reference to a game from the 90s on the Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, which was called General Chaos. The enemy in General Chaos was Major Havoc. I always enjoyed that game. So,
You forgot you could have had a Major Richard.
I mean, yeah, any rank really with a Richard.
Anyway.
Or a basic trooper, and you know, like his specialization is investigation, and he'd be Private Richard. Yeah, I think got it. Rickenbacker, what's the objective? Like, what's the operation we're having here? Is it
I think there's a couple different things I want to do.
Are you on a voice mod thing? You sound a little bit
You're
kind
echoing at the moment.
of weirdly echoey or
I'm
something.
sounding echoey?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you're
like-
in
I'm on a
a
clean.
metal tube.
You've already got
Kinda
ready to
teeny.
die in steel?
Strange.
It's not that bad. It's just weird.
I don't have any effects on.
Oh,
It
okay.
it sounds
Yeah.
like you're being duplicated somehow.
Or you're in a can.
Test.
Oh, there's an
That's-
echo.
I just swapped it, and this is clean.
It's
There's
almost
still an echo though.
It's like
But I think it's
teeny.
like a duplication echo though. It's not an effect echo. It's like we're hearing you twice. But it's definitely from the same mic because it's like identical sounds that are just like displaced.
It's not massively disruptive if you want to
Yeah,
carry
it's
on.
just odd.
Yeah.
I have no idea what would be causing that. Now my Zoom's closed, so I don't know what happened.
My operation is Operation Fly Swatter.
Operation Fly Swatter. Okay. Operation Fly Swatter, and I believe
Is that for the one on the
The
mouth?
orcs and the Tyranids, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I also have one there then as well. I'll tell you what it is. Once you're kind of ready to go.
I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So mine's Operation Bug Crush. So, and that's going to be 10K with Major Beerness McSqueeny, who is a flanker, really good with battle lines and attacking flanks to move on a center. So just going to keep them all pushed together.
Could you throw in the operation leader name? So
I'll add, like, it's going to be Julia Fox as well.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, Beerness McSweeney of the famous McSweeney clan.
McSqueeny.
There we go.
It's a good name.
Do you have any specific like thoughts on what the 12th will be doing in the engagement? My guess would be essentially like fire suppressive fire, like, you know, volley skirmishing suppressive fire to kind of like
In that battle,
yeah.
they'd probably be a significant portion of the line as well, you know?
Yeah.
But they'd be mostly doing like the suppressive fire, while the 21st did most of the heavier damage.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
And then also like they would be moving the line kind of,
Moving with, yeah.
yeah. So
All right.
Is this better?
It's,
it's
Sounds
the same.
yeah, it's still the same. Okay, 21st. There we go. Operation Flyfire, Operation Bug Crush. Good. So, are there any more kind of initiatives or operations that want to be set up for this?
I could give names to the other things the 1-4 are doing, like the wall to keep the orcs and the nids in, and also the coastal defenses. Come up with something.
You could probably fold in you could probably fold in the wall to the 21st operation, because that's essentially going to be part of it.
Sure.
So that should be that. I don't need to come up with a dirty name for that operation. The other one is you want to focus on coastal defenses.
Yeah, like just setting up things around all the islands so that if nids show up out, just like come out of the sea, we can do something. There'll probably also be like some internal things as well, and like patrols that go around the countryside, if there is a countryside. It's a pretty industrial planet.
That type of thing is a much more kind of like It's not really an operation unless it's kind of like a large force operation. That seems more of a kind of like everyday operation type thing, like in the current situation. But definitely the coastal fortresses would be an operation. So,
reminder: what color is Nid blood? I'm pretty sure Orc blood is green.
Orc blood is actually red.
Oh, it is red. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why I know that off the top of my head, but I do.
Is Tyrannid blood purple?
I think possibly. I can I'm sure there's oh, it's black once you've burned it away with holy fire. I'm not sure that's an answer.
I think everything's black once you burned it away with holy fire.
I color coded my sheet for my people for Fly Swatter. Fly Swatter North and Fly Swatter South.
Okay. It appears that there's some GW art which says it's orange. Oh. I'm also seeing references to purple and also to red. So it's very possible there's no actual lore answer.
I'll just go with red then. It seems like on average the things we're fighting bleed red. Like on the color wheel. Then the operation for the coastal defenses will be called Red Sands.
Red Sands, dude, that's a great name.
I like that a lot.
Operation Red Sands. Do you have officers you'd like to put in charge of it?
I'll have to have a think and pick through it, but like many. Because suddenly I have all these officers and only a couple operations. I mean, I could put Marley Wolf on that maybe, but that probably Marley Wolf should just be on the Fly Swatter for now.
Yeah.
You know what? There's not really anyone. Oh wait, no. Cliff Hightower or Sylph Hightower. Coastal Defense. They're only a lieutenant. I'll make them acting captain so they can have a bit more authority, and other lieutenants and maybe captains can work with him.
Makes sense. Acting. Right. Just FYI to remind you, you do have the like looking over the exit of the bridge on your side. You do have the drop fortress.
Yeah.
Very, very useful. Obviously, it will be garrisoned probably with 1-4, unless you'd like to garrison it with something else.
That's fine, we can look after it.
Yeah, the automated gun turrets are mostly damaged or destroyed. Will take time to... But you can still fire out of it. It's a very effective defense, regardless.
All right.
How's Rickenbacker doing? Has she found her way out of the metal tunnel?
I don't know what's happening.
Hey,
You
there you
know.
go. Fixed.
Yeah, you
I
sound
didn't do
fine now.
anything. So like literally everything was set to the right thing.
You do sound
I
a
have
bit
no
loud
idea.
now. I don't know if anything got tweaked.
Like I said, touch nothing. Like everything's using the right modifier or like the right audio device, and everything else is disabled. So I have no idea.
Well, welcome to my audio problems. I had the same thing.
I'm just like, all I did was like look to see if everything's in the right thing. So I don't know what happened. Yeah. So I got plans. I'll actually, here I will send 50,000 troops. I'll have Major Filbert Forrest, Alphen, and Vivian all there to assist. And then the rest of my troops are going to go across. I have a couple different things that I want to do.
Okay.
I'm thinking that I'll just kind of draw a line along this river, because I don't know what's beyond this yet, really. And it looks like these guys aren't pushing, right?
Not currently, no.
No. So I think we're just going to set up like a defensive line there along that river. And I'm going to call that Hurdle. And I will be there, as well as Captain Joel, Berard, and then Lieutenants Hayes and Farnock, Sergeant Chaplain Nolan, obviously Standard Bearer, Robe, Ott, Summer, Almec, and Schmidt with me. I'm going to send a infiltration group called Crackle to check on this area, and that is going to include T and Lieutenant Waldo and their crew, along with Fearin and Kalos are going to kind of like stay back but be in communication with them. Yeah. Basically, they'll all work together in coordinating that. And then I have Ward and Wreckage, which is my armor troop. They'll all be kind of like setting up defense as well. With Major Frida Geisler as like the commanding officer for that, and then Albert, Chrissa Devind, and Lieutenant X, as well as Sergeant Kearns will be involved in that. And then I have one other group called Billow, and that is going to be run by Captain Braddock. And my thought is, depending on what happens here or here, depending on like what we hear back from the infiltration group, we may be dropping some bombs. I have 3 to drop.
Okay, so essentially like bomb drop in.
Yeah, they're basically at the ready, kind of like lift off, and depending on what kind of feedback we get.
Right, there we go. Question: the initial operation, I didn't have time to note down the name. What was it called? Operation
Hurdle?
Hurdle,
or which one?
You. It was Hurdle. I remember now. I wasn't sure if it was Hurdle or Girdle. So
Girdle would be different. We're just playing some music for everybody. No, Hurdle.
Okay. So you're taking off 50,000 off your number for the assistance on
the mouth.
On the mouth. How many
which
troops?
leaves me with 154,440 at Breaker's Yard.
Okay. So just to keep informed, the orcs number somewhere around your numbers, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't know the situation or the state of the hive currently. So
no.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I was sending an infiltration group that way too.
Yes, and you also have the recon in force for the from the 12th, and the infiltration group from the 1-4 going into the hive as well. You should be able to stay like pretty well up to date and up to.
Yeah, my worry is I don't want to push down here without knowing what's going on here, because then they might just like come up from behind, and then I would be screwed. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you do have the Crimson Fist like nominally nearby. The likelihood of them responding is very unclear. In that case, could I get a let's go with a straight up command roll from essentially everyone for now.
And Rickenbacker would definitely do an epic speech before going into battle, whenever that does start up. All right.
-2.
Rerolls are still available.
Yeah.
5.9.
5.9s on.
Look at
both of those.
Oh yeah!
Yeah,
Look.
we ready. High five.
That's the difference between the frontline commanders and the
I was about
command
to
post
say,
commanders.
look at the two tryhard.
They're like, I don't want to fight.
Look at the two tryhard battle commanders, both getting -5.9.
I re-rolled
roll better
for a -2, which got worse.
You know,
I'm
gonna re-roll despite that very bad sign.
Okay.
Hey, you could. There's a chance.
That's more like
nice.
3.4.
You all have pretty decent commands, so the likelihood of failing command twice in a row is pretty low.
Yeah, and she did that.
And yet,
I've done it before too, though. So
I've been there. I've re-rolled and got a crit fail or whatever.
Chances mean nothing when it comes to rolling. It's just like, you're very unlikely to roll crits twice in a row, but You do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Not great.
the setup for the setup for all of the operations go mostly well. The only exception is there is the best way I can describe it is there are aspects of the 12th that there's no disobeying of orders, but there is extending of orders. You know, essentially parts of the 12th will take a lot longer than they should to get things done and to get ready. It's almost like they're not particularly wanting to get to the front line and participate in action.
Doesn't surprise me.
What that essentially means is primer, the 12th aren't ready and prepared by the time you are. If you want to like delay the operation, you can, or you can.
No.
Go
He's
ahead
like,
with
we're
it.
going.
Oh god, you got the echo back again.
Got the echo
What?
back again?
Yep.
I don't hear it.
Sounds
Yeah,
fine to me.
weirdly,
heard
not
it.
for me.
What? Oh no. Wait, talk more.
Talking more? Hello?
It's gone again. What? I'm so confused.
This weird audio stuff.
Don't know what's
But you
Um,
all were hearing it before. I'm so confused.
yes.
I did nothing. I've done
I thought I
nothing.
heard it again. Now I must be going.
All
mad.
my audio is like going through the right, do the same thing.
Now we're just making Maggie.
You're making me very paranoid.
Yes.
What's weird is like I hear what my voice sounds like, and it
Mm.
doesn't. I don't hear any echo, so that's weird.
Well,
It's gotta be
we'll have
through
to play
Zoom
it back
then.
to you after the. Yeah,
Yeah.
It could be Zoom is doing something.
I can make an echo. Hello, hello.
Oh.
I've assigned a bunch of commanders to Fly Swatter for the One Force part in that, and also Red Sands, and color coded it on my thing. So I got a bunch of people on Fly Swatter. I put 6 different commanders on it because I'm like
North
I got
or
'em,
south?
side mainly, but like
Yeah.
Oh, then you would be side. If you want to color in the side in the color that you did, because I drew my front.
I did the brown's my color. I just did the
Okay,
whole
then
thing.
we're good.
And I'm
Yeah,
with
I'm yellow and blue.
Tyler's.
And some of the idea as well that I can do is on the defensive wall, in the part of it where the orcs and the nids meet, like I've got some commanders that can do like defensive, like fallback stuff and like layered defenses. So they could do like deliberately retreating to draw out the nids and orcs into one spot, like probably like building like crescent shape like defenses so that they just kind of go bloop in the middle.
Did we want to send my trappers out with your squad, Maggie, with Reckenbacher's front line area?
It's up to you if you want to or not. I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
I mean, I'll send them out there. I'm fine with sending
Yeah.
my trappers. They're not doing anything in here.
Setting up some traps along the river, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We'll call this operation Trap and Trench,
Captain Trench, okay.
and it's going to be led by Deadfall.
Oof, nice.
I might actually see if I can add somebody in there as well.
Well,
Because I know I have people who are good at
sneak.
that.
How many people are in that air platoon that Braddock has?
Interdict. And phalanges.
Sheepy.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
How many people are in that air platoon that Braddock has? I don't know how many troopers. It's a squadron of bombers, you said.
Yeah, so a squadron of bombers isn't that many people. If you want to assign people to it, you can. They won't
Is
be
that
able
like
to.
5, 10 people?
So as I remember, the bombers, I think, have a crew of 5.
5, okay.
The bombers themselves, like, I think there's 3 left, correct?
Trap
Oh,
and
no.
Trench.
I have 3 bombs.
Yeah, 3 bombs
I didn't-
left, which would
Yeah.
my guess
The
would
people
be,
didn't die, just...
No,
I haven't
no.
used the bombs yet. I have 3 precise strike maneuvers that I can use.
3 precise strike maneuvers. Okay, yeah. So in that case, most likely it would be
It's
5.
possible I could get them refreshed.
Yeah, most likely it would be 5 bombers and for each strike. So if you want to assign like 50 troops additionally, they can be utilized as essentially like loaders and like basically like a pit crew.
Gotcha. So they drop off. Okay.
Now,
here's my trap and trench lines zone area.
Okay. Nice.
They won't go in front of Reckenbacher's crew until we have information, but they're gonna put traps. Yeah.
So we are almost at the end of the show. We have a few minutes left, and essentially we don't have enough time to play out the battles. Essentially, if you like, and if you'd want the finding out the basics of what happened on your operations, we can do that. The other option is we can leave it like this for the roleplay, people in the chat and viewers to basically play out those scenarios for themselves as the things go on. So it really depends what you guys would like to, go with.
I want Primer to shoot.
It would be nice to see how Fly Swatter goes, whether we can take that out, because that's a fight that it's like, this is achievable. It's like over there is orcs and nids and space marines.
How about you do the battle here?
We can do this
play out.
fight.
How about we play out the battle here, and then I can end with an epic speech here of what like Rickenbacker says over comms to everybody else as we push forward and as they come.
On the basically riverbank.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you were on a riverbank?
Yeah.
Fortified riverbank.
I might have caught on fire. It's
is
fine.
this a river here? Can't see because we
yeah.
have 70 lines.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, there. No, we were talking about. Whoops.
Oh
like
no,
I
was just
this fight here.
Yeah, just
no. He's talking about the riverbank here.
I was talking about the riverbank there because Rickenbacker's there. And last time you guys were on a riverbank, Rickenbacker got set on fire, and you almost got carried off by a Tyranid flyer.
Yeah.
I was just referencing that time because that was.
It's okay though. I have the Bane Wolves now.
Okay, so let's So during the fight, the initial engagement with the south of the Tyranid line is led by Primer, and without the assistance of the Lightfoots. So the initial push and the initial crash will depend on your command of the situation and kind of like working with your troops to.
Iron Brigade is there too.
Yeah, Iron Brigades are there.
Iron Brigade as well, yes. But because Primer is in like overall command,
he's in command. Yeah.
So let's get a command roll. Just purely because of the scope of the command, we'll have a -10 on that.
-10?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. 3.6.
So the organization is pretty good. The initial hit pushes the Tyranids back. They still kind of initially mindlessly throw themselves at you, and let's get a Tactica Imperialis and War, please, as well.
Nice. 4.2. 0.1.
I think that 4.2 was it was a 6. One lower,
It was a
it was
Close.
a 6.
Not a crit.
Yeah, not quite.
So close.
But both successes. I'll take that.
Yeah. So the attempts to basically like push back against your advance are failures, and instead of trying to repeatedly just throw themselves against the wall of like advancing 21st, eventually the the Tyranids appear to come to some form of tactical plan whereby they kind of turn about and head up further away. It essentially leaves, like, aside from the ones that still, occasionally a wave will come at you and attempt to break through or just, get at you.
That's fine. Once they're pushed back, the Bane Wolves move to the front and light everything on fire.
Okay. Is that the chem variant?
Yep, that's the chem specialists.
Okay.
That's literally Chem, Captain Chem.
Captain Chem. Okay. In that case, yeah. Once the gap is made, you move forward the Chem Wolves, and essentially, like, any attempts that come at you aren't significant enough at this point to really threaten you. With that move, you essentially minimize your casualties going forward.
Keep in mind, I have my Sentinels and my Lehman Russ down there too.
Yeah. There'll always be instances of, like, an individual missed Tyranid who jumps up and tears apart a trooper. But in the grand scheme of things, you're not taking any.
That's fine. I shoot it
with the rocket launcher.
Not the rocket launcher. This is just my my last.
Okay.
That was a flat ballistics roll for the record.
Oh damn!
0.36.
You've got pretty decent. Considering.
My ballistics is a 50.
Yeah. At this point, they're going to the Tyranids are going to be moving north and pushing against the Orcs, which I should probably just... Actually, I have the Orc rolls. Man, they really enjoy fighting, don't they? Yeah, so... I think probably there'd be... given that the Orcs are a bit more... I can't say intelligent, because the Orcs aren't more intelligent. But they know Warrior in a different way, and strategically, tactically, slightly different. So there's going to be an initial push at the north. I believe that's...
Picket. Major Picket.
Yes.
With Gopher and Embed as captains. Cover, Cannibal, and Blockade are also there. And Appendix.
Okay, yes, you have a lot of nice officers there, actually.
Specialists.
So, I would say offhand that because the Tyranids attacking from the south, and a lot of their forces are going to go and engage with that, essentially the attempt to push north by some of the Orc forces who are nearby, basically just shatter against that line, and either turn around or most likely they just get kind of like broken across that rock. With the additional aspect of... What was your command roll, Lime?
My command roll
3.4. Yeah, with that, essentially the wall is built before anything significant tries to push against it. By the time they're looking for exit routes, they basically... The intention you had was to build something whereby they kind of smack against it and decide this doesn't really work, go in different direction. Essentially, up and down along the wall, there are instances of Orcs and Tyranids like taking that route and seeing where it leads them, only to run up against the wall and basically kind of split left and right when they do and try either for the north or for the south. What eventually ends up happening with minimal casualties to your side is a really disturbing meat grinder where the two forces meet, with the Tyranids basically being pushed and forced into the Orcs, and the Orcs kind of happily jumping into the fight. It ends up essentially... The thing about this Orc force actually is they have their death skulls. They have a lot of heavy shooters. They're called looters, which does, until the Tyranids get into close combat especially, does significant damage. Essentially, by the time the 21st have caught up and eventually the 12th catch up with the 21st and join the engagement, there's just small pockets of orcs left, which are very easy for you to wipe up, especially with your tanks and sentinels and like faster moving units. The problem the Death Skulls have is they have the heavy weapons, which helps, but they're not very mobile, so you can basically outmaneuver them. So in this instance, Primer, let's get one more. I think this will just it'll be a plus 20, but it'll be a common law war, just to kind of like, yeah.
We're basically pulling a Battle of the Bastards, except instead of having the Starks in, it's two aliens that hate each other.
Oh, yeah, no.
4.9. Woo.
The ending aspect of this engagement is you essentially directing and commanding your forces so that they outmaneuver and they come from different areas of all of these like final defensive orc points, pretty much like, weirdly enough, a last stand for the enemy, where you just slowly encircle and crush them, attacking from positions where they don't have much defensive setup. The Tyranids are wiped out basically against the orcs, and then the remaining orcs who haven't died already are isolated and crushed by your forces.
Beautiful.
And in that case, finally, we will go over to the slowly being fortified river and surrounds, where we have the 1-4, we have elements of the 1-4, the 12th and the 21st kind of helping set up this defensive line, along with Rickenbacker and the Iron Brigade in massive force, slowly arraying alongside the river. If you want Rickenbacker, you can do the same thing that Primer did. Essentially, Voxcaster some of your officers with you, and then you're basically projecting your voice to everyone up and down the line.
Yeah, she'll be like, Grob, send me the Voxcom. Am I tinging for you? Am I fine?
You're good. Yes, Commander.
She takes it.
Iron Brigade of Faith, hardy warriors of Yaktune, and our allies. We fight today for death in honor of the Emperor, as that is our legacy. We are the excavators. We are the miners, and we don the face strength as we know our path in life. Let us move with force, interlock our shields made from the honor of our fallen, to form the wall of faith that our enemies shall not pass. Let us be resilient and relentless in battle. The paint upon our faces a reminder of where we come from if we fail or hesitate. Let us walk with our fallen brethren forever. Vivere Infero!
And I feel like you just hear the resonation of like, Indifero.
So from the coast, all the way up the river, there is the sound of shields slamming into the edge of the bank as it goes like a giant domino all the way down. And, from at least the close by Iron Brigade troopers that like join this in, you do hear the response, which I believe is Indifero.
Mm-hmm. Which means die in steel. And the other part is live in steel.
In the midst of battle, you hear Primer yell that out as well.
Nice.
And I believe we will end things there with a big fight going to probably happen soon between the advancing orcs and the Iron Brigades and the detachments and everything. I can tell you with your basic infiltration, let's call it, of the hive, there is a massive fight going on between the remaining forces of like PDF and security forces of the Hive versus what is essentially a fairly large at this point Genestealer cult.
Yeah.
And Joseph Wickham in the middle of it,
Oh, that's
blowing up the
great!
Gene Stealers.
Oh man.
He's in there. He's doing his thing.
So there are significant deaths among the civilian populace. The thing is that Genestealer cults convert and basically steal the genes of all civilians and citizens. There is a distinct possibility, considering that this is a hive and quite a large hive at that, you could be facing up to 1 million or 2 million civilian turned Genestealer.
Right.
How many did we fight before in
Okay,
the
maybe Joseph Wickham comes back like, no.
Notice how I made the trap line facing the hive too.
Yep.
It's basically
that's why I built
it's
the-
Moon's Haunted, but instead it's like Hive's Overrun. Hive's Overrun.
Moon's haunted?
It's haunted.
Damn.
So yeah, I believe that going forward, people will pretty much be able to, play this out in their roleplay and see how things go for them in these setups. You have managed to clear out the mouth though, which is heartily useful. You have the Crimson Fists defending the bridge and possibly at some point moving out. So.
Yeah, with
Well,
the
no,
mouth cleared,
We'll talk a bit
we now,
about things
like,
in the after show too. So
Mm.
get your
Oh, yeah,
questions prepared.
Definitely.
Yeah, with the mouth cleared, there's just like there's Crimson Fists in between us and the bad things, which is always nice.
So, one very interesting thing about Genestealers and Orcs is Genestealers can actually turn Orcs into hybrid Genestealers, but they're so relaxed and chilled compared to normal Orcs. They just get murdered instantly by other Orcs. Like, Orcs notice and kill them immediately. So, Genestealers don't work on Orcs. So yeah.
Okay, cool. That might be good, I guess.
What I will say for the finale part of the end of the show is, well done, commanders. Over 2 seasons, you faced some really rough situations. Honestly, I was fully expecting and prepared over both seasons, but especially season 1, to lose at least a couple of you, and we almost did multiple times. I think
There were a few close calls, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
think that
we fought Tyranids of various kinds. We've gone toe to toe with orcs. We've stood in front of Space Marines and said words, and we're still all here.
We faced a Ravager
And- Stole some of their, armor. Ran through a pack of, Tyranid artillery and lived to tell the tale for a
Watched
while.
Biovores blow themselves up and Lectors trip and fall over themselves.
So many exploded Biovores. Dozens of
Had
them.
the rear guard break open some kind of nest of flying things
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
consequently just put it back or something or
Lime dropped
deal with
artillery.
Close it.
Yeah.
Lime dropped
and a
artillery
lot
on
of,
his commander,
And got a promotion and
Yep.
so many war crimes.
One of our commanders
So many.
turned out to be a spy, but for our side. The other one died because he was so useless.
was
Rest in-
executed.
Rest in pieces, Benabach Cumberdict. God damn.
Rest in peace, so many members of the 10.
Jesus Christ.
You lost a lot of the 10.
Alphys and Omega, Crackpot. Who else did we lose? We lost 1, 2, 3 Volley.
You lost Stealth as well. Number 9.
Shifter. Yep.
Shifter, yeah.
So Crackpot was number 7. I don't remember who. Wasn't Straight Shooter one of the 10 too?
Shooter, I don't think he was. You still have you have a couple. You have Nomad.
Alphys and Omega died though.
Yes.
2 and 4.
You lost both of the double team. You still
Maybe
have
in the after show we can do a graveyard session.
Jeez, that'll be longer than the current season.
Just do the role of the graveyard.
I think you have target and nomads.
Yeah, I have one of the 4 as well. I have Stray, number 5.
Yeah, you
In
yeah
the end,
you have
my
Yes,
Stray.
this
dead
after
list
show will
is
be
not
public.
It's not that high, but I just got a lot of injuries at one point, so I'm like, I have barely any active commanders because they're all in hospital beds.
Oh.
Yeah,
One
we
of
should
mine's MIA.
we should
I still
go
believe he's
through
alive.
to the after show in official
Yes.
capacity. So we should do the wrap up. Gubbins will pop away for a sec, and then we'll come back for the live after show. So don't go anywhere. You can ask us questions in the chat, and we will endeavor to answer them all for the final time. And that one will be available for people on the YouTube and everything. So if you're watching this on YouTube and it's not like the day it came out, then there's probably an after show for you to watch after this as well. Okay, let's go through the announcements. So yeah, there's the live after show. That's the thing. And then also the map and guide for Mage are out on the Patreon. That you can check out the map of Webley and info cards about literally every location on that map, including like the M25 and the A3. There's even info cards for those. You can also next Thursday catch a new guest on Dungeons & Dragons Ascension, which is Cellular Page playing Peachy the Owlfolk. So the next time that you'll find us on Roll For It. And we're also sponsored by Roll20. You can check out the state of the current giveaway, and there is indeed one for the VTM core book by going over to our Twitter and taking a look at the pinned tweet. And I think sometimes it's posted in the chat and stuff as well. I don't know, just the pinned tweet is the main place to go, because you do things with that, you retweet it and follow and stuff, and then you might win a book that you can then like a PDF that you can then use in Roll20. That's the and one other thing is that the 4th episode of Mage is now out as well, but of course you'll be watching the after show first, but after that you can then go watch the latest episode of Mage. Let's go through the people and what they do and where you can find them and all that kind of thing. Let's mix it up, let's flip it around this time. Let's start with Sheepy, the architect of this madness.
Hello, I'm Sheepdog. I run The Wandering Inn. I run TTRPG shows on The Wandering Inn on Twitch. I also do 40,000 Layers, which is a Warhammer 40,000 mini painting and lore drop show. You can go check that out on YouTube, on YouTube Tashnar. Search 40,000 Layers on YouTube, you can probably find it. Really enjoyed doing this campaign and previous campaign, and yeah, well done everyone. You did a good job.
And we got a Sheepy outro. Yay!
Yeah. Like 95% legit, so there you
go. Maggie, what about you?
Hi. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places because it's my name and that's where you can find me. I do a lot of things on the internet. I'm currently looking for some projects, so if you know anybody who's looking for some people, holla. Otherwise, you can find me here on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, right here, twitch.tv/rollforward for Ascension, where we are heading into Chapter 3, which I'm super excited about. Maybe we'll find my brother, who knows? Besides that, I make video games for a living. I currently work on a project called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places.
All right, how about Tyler?
Hi, I'm Tyler Scheid. Please Google me. It'll help me get verification on places, apparently. But I should be back to streaming here in a few weeks. So you can stay tuned for that, twitch.tv/apocalypto_12. You can find me as Tyler Scheid in all the places, or apocalypto_12. I do YouTube, I do Twitch. I am a part of some really cool projects going on, and I'm excited to be getting back home eventually after being gone for 2.5 months.
It's a long time.
Vandy, what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Vandy. I played Lancaster this season and last, and you can find me at OMG Vandy pretty much anywhere. I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays. And on Mondays, I'm on the Wandering Inn doing some Vampire the Masquerade. But otherwise, I make dice stuff, and I also work for a company called The Game Hers, which we have our Game Her Awards that are coming up at in the fall. So we have their nomination period that has just ended, and if you want to vote for some really cool people, the voting period will be opening soonish. But check it out at thegamehers.com, and you can get all the info there.
Right, and I am Bentham. You can find me in various places under the name Manglepork. It's the worst. I need to change it, but Bentham's taken everywhere. It's too common. It's too common. But I've been doing
Beb?
lots of multiplayer games recently. Well, Beb's too short. Beb's definitely taken everywhere. Though, if I ever play like arcade games, I can just put in the for the 3 letters. I can just be like
Oh, there
Beb.
you go.
But I never do that, and I never get on leaderboards if I ever were to do that. But anyway, yeah, we've been playing some games. We've been doing some star-based multiplayer recently, and then because it reminded me of it, we're going to be playing some Space Engineers, I think, this coming Friday multiplayer, and then I think, like this time next week, we might be doing some Barotrauma, where I'm roping in a couple more people, because the more the merrier with Barotrauma, and it's one of my favorite multiplayer games, so I'll take any opportunity to rope more people into playing that. Don't quote me on it though. We might not do it next Sunday, but I think that's the plan. We're still organizing it, making it happen. Like the moment my Sundays are free, I'm like, do more things. Free time, I must fill this with streams. But yeah, that's me. We're gonna do an after show. We'll do the outro credits for one final time first, and go on a quick break. But then after that, we'll be back to do the live after show. So trick your questions in the chat, and we'll try and keep up with that. And I say we'll try and keep on topic. We won't. We'll probably go all over the place. Who knows? But yeah, that's the end of the main show. So we'll see you soon. Next time you can find Roll For It is on Thursday with Ascension, and then on Saturday with the next episode of Mage. But may the dice roll ever in your favor. See you in a minute.